Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Deku had demon quirk part 2. If you guys enjoy this what if and want to see part 3, comment down below and let me know before I start. Please do support for more awesome content and leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also share this video with your friends and check out the description in my playlist. The author of the story by 𝗧𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗀𝗄 from fanfiction.net. So let's start the video. What the F are you doing? I turned to see 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗁 rubbing the CRP out of his eyes. Good morning, sunshine. I greeted, which earned me a middle finger. Just whipping up some breakfast. One thing I'll give 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗧𝗛 is that his fridge is stocked with quality ingredients for me to play with behind his back. Want some? I'm making some food from the opposite side of the world. 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗁 scoffed. Yeah, what? Some pancakes. 𝗳𝗍𝗧𝗟𝗏. I said. What? 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗁 asked. 𝗳𝗍𝗧𝗟𝗏. It's most prominent in Venezuela. Mom was feeling adventurous last Sunday, so I made them. It was pretty good. I said as I handed him one. It's stuffed with mozzarella. He looked at it suspiciously before biting into it. Chew, chew, swallow. Needs hot sauce. On the table. I said as I continued tending to the 𝗳𝗍𝗧𝗟𝗏. It went a little while before the door swung open. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗁𝗧𝗛 in the house. What do you two think you're doing? 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗁𝗧𝗛 asked. Cooking. What's it look like? I asked as I handed 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗁 another one. You can put some meat on top if you want. Already on it. 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗁 said as he grabbed some chopped up steak. I nodded before looking at 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗧𝗛. Hungry. This is exquisite. What is it again? 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗧𝗛 asked. 𝗳𝗍𝗧𝗟𝗏. Venezuelan food. I said before eating more. Well, it's excellent, though I must ask, how did you learn to make it? He asked, and why did you make so many? I read a lot of recipe books when I was younger. It was the urge to learn that all kids had at one point. As for why I made so many, I said before I put on my coveted 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗏 man hat while taking off my weights. Thankfully the floors can take the weight. I'm going to do a food 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗏 run for my classmates. See you guys in like 5 minutes. I said before I grabbed most of the 𝗳𝗍𝗧𝗟𝗏s, put them into small containers, and ran off. First stop, Hiatus agency, which was conveniently located a few blocks away from 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗧𝗛. I ran inside and up the stairs to the top floor. There 𝗳𝗍𝗧𝗏 and 𝗫𝗃𝗀𝗁, that's a surprise, was still sleeping. Up and at 'em. I yelled, which caused 𝗫𝗃𝗀𝗁 and 𝗳𝗍𝗧𝗏 to shoot up and arm themselves for battle before calming down at the sight of me. Oh, Midoriya, it's just you. 𝗳𝗍𝗧𝗏 said. I'm offended. Anyway, brought you all breakfast. I said as I set 2 containers, each holding 2 cheese 𝗳𝗍𝗧𝗟𝗏s in front of them. What are they? 𝗫𝗃𝗀𝗁 asked, but 𝗳𝗍𝗧𝗏 most likely knew what they were based on how her eyes widened. 𝗳𝗍𝗧𝗏, she said with a smile. Ding ding ding. They're like Venezuelan pancakes, but way more versatile. Well, gotta make more trips. Oh, wait a minute, I see an ingredient for lunch. I said as I snagged the ingredient before running off. I made more deliveries, most were with notes because I was reaching my 5-minute limit I set for myself. I made it back to 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗧𝗛's place with 1 second to spare. I'm back. Where did you get that? 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗧𝗛 asked. Oh, this. I asked as I held out the ingredient. It's for lunch. It's from 𝗬𝗏𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗏 or Medusa's place. I said. That's not something a kid should have. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗧𝗛 asked. What? It's just vodka. How else would I make penne alla vodka, without the vodka? Then it'd be just regular old penne. I asked, but he snagged it from me. Fine, I'll have to make another Italian pasta for lunch. I said. And what would that be? 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗧𝗛 asked. Well, since you took my ingredient, I'm not making my favorite. We're having asparagus shrimp linguine, that's final. I said before taking off my 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗟𝗏 hat. F you, I'm making lunch. 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗁𝗧𝗏 said. You'll poison us if you make lunch. I'm making it. I retorted. Hell no. You may be more powerful than I am, but I'm the king of cooking. 𝗵𝘃𝗲 yelled. Well, I'm the emperor of the culinary arts. The 𝗵𝘃𝗲 of the stove. The god of the kitchen, your move. I'm 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗲. 𝗵𝘃𝗲 yelled. So I'm cooking, then. I said with a smirk, which earned me a middle finger. After that interaction and me cleaning the dishes, 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗧𝗔𝗨𝗧 took us patrolling again. There was a robbery that was on our route. We took care of it easily, even if the news reporter who was acting like a vulture thankfully 𝗔𝗨𝗧𝗔𝗍 took care of it. After our route was done, and I cooked lunch, which got glowing reviews though 𝗵𝘃𝗲 said he could have made it better. Like he does. Soon lunch was done, and we were allowed into the gym that was built into the agency building. Oi, nerd. 𝗵𝘃𝗲 said. What's up? I asked. You still have your old weights? 𝗵𝘃𝗲 asked. You sure, that's a ton on your body literally? I said. I'm sure, give here. He said, how else am I supposed to catch up if I'm not training at least at your previous pace? Fair point. Alright, they're easy to take off. I said before handing them to him one at a time. He put them all on but he couldn't move. Hold on, be right back. I said before taking off and running off. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗏. I called out, which caused her to scream and drop her coffee. 𝗵𝘃𝗏𝗧𝗔𝗍𝗪. What are you doing here? And my coffee? She yelled. I can make a better coffee than that bilge. Anyway, I need weights 125 kg each. I said. That's less than your current ones. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗏 said. It's for 𝗵𝘃𝗲. I said. Helping Mr. 𝗬𝗪𝗍𝗪 alright, I'll need a ride to you, she said. Not a problem, hop on. I said as I got onto my knees. She climbed onto my back and zoomed over to you. Alright, we're here. I said, standing in front of the familiar iron doors of the support room. She collapsed onto her knees. Wow, what a rush. She said, her hair was in a frenzy, and she struggled to stand. You should start a taxi service. I'm sure everyone would be terrified at my speed, but anyway, weights. I said as I gripped the handle of the door only to tear it off. 𝗵𝘃𝗏𝗧𝗔𝗍𝗪. Power loader yelled. I can fix that. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗏 finished the weights while I finished fixing the hinges of the door and apologizing to an angry power loader 100 times. Yes, he wanted 100 I'm sorry's and a cup of coffee. So I fixed the door and brewed 2 cups of coffee for both 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗏 and power loader, all for weights for 𝗵𝘃𝗲. He better appreciate this. I grabbed the weights, thanked and apologized to power loader one last time before reinstating Izuku land rides and dropping her off at her support tech company. After that I ran back to 𝗵𝘃𝗲 at 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗧𝗔𝗪. I'm back. I said before handing him his weights. Here, these will be more your speed. My speed? 𝗵𝘃𝗲 asked, sounding a little annoyed. Yeah, 500 kilograms in total. You don't have a strength-enhancing quirk, so there is no way you would be able to handle 1 ton at first. Is that a challenge? 𝗵𝘃𝗲 asked. It's called me not being responsible for your arm being popped off. I said. I can ta dash, do you want the weights or not? I yelled, we're getting nowhere here. Fine. 𝗵𝘃𝗲 yelled as he took the weights and put them on. He tried to take a step, but had a strong time. Can't move, he muttered. Your body will adjust, give it time. I said as I walked over to the tree. Wait, it'll be crushed under 2 tons of pressure weights it is then. As I was setting up, 𝗵𝘃𝗲 was walking laps around the gym. He was on his 2nd lap after I finished my 15th rep, so progress. Sure, let's call it that. After a while we were then told that the gym was closing, and we had to get ready for bed. It took 𝗵𝘃𝗲 almost an hour to climb up the stairs to the top floor. I should know I had to stay with him. In case he doesn't collapse on himself. Once we made it, 𝗵𝘃𝗲 collapsed onto his futon. How can you deal with this? 𝗵𝘃𝗲 asked. Because I had 2 weeks to get used to it. It was surprising how fast my body adjusted. I replied, it's only been a few hours, give it time. I replied. He turned away from me, guess he was satisfied with my answer. I decided to follow his example and go to sleep too. A few days passed and next to nothing happened. Sure, we busted a few bad guys during our patrols with 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗧𝗏, but nothing exciting happened. Oh well, at least the gym is nigh. Boom, maybe I should buy a lottery ticket later. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗏 and I headed up to the viewing deck. There was a massive fire. That's the 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗟 area. That looks bad, I said as 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗏 nodded. No SHT, he responded. Thud thud thud, well, let's go, I said as I stretched my body. He smirked at my idea. I'm in. No, you too, it's too dangerous, we shouldn't get involved, 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗧𝗏 called out. Well, I say we're going, so you can either come with us, or be left behind, I said, because some of my friends is interning over there, and the last thing I want is for them to be hurt. I said, now are you coming? Fine, but it would take a while for us to get there by train, 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗧𝗏 said. Who said we were taking the train? Hop on, I said as I squatted down. You have to be joking, 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗏 muttered. I'm dead serious, get on and hang on, I said. It took a while, but they got onto my back. Alright, let's go take down some bad guys. Okay, we dash, fwoosh, take that. Vile creature. 𝗵𝗍𝗏 is here, that explains the fire. Wait a minute, 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗪𝗍, I yelled out, as the red and white-haired classmate of mine turned to face us. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗏 and 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗧𝗏 got off of my back as 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗪𝗍 ran over towards us. Why are you three here? He asked. Saw an explosion, so I carried those two and ran here, I explained, as the muscular 𝗵𝗍𝗏 was dealing with 𝗧𝗏𝗏, as his cohorts, a winged and long-armed 𝗵𝗍 went to deal with 𝗵𝗍, while the muscular 𝗵𝗍 walked towards us. Midoriya. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗏. 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗏. I heard someone yell, before the muscular 𝗵𝗍 got kicked away. Ida. My brother and I came as fast as we could. Are you three okay? Ida asked. Okay, I asked as I activated one for all at 15% along with 100% of my glass cannon. I'm pumped, let's go boys, I said as I got ready. Time to show the League of Villains what happens when they mess with one of the 𝗬𝗏𝗡's elite, I said as they nodded and got ready as well. Alright, here's the plan. I'm going to knock that muscular 𝗵𝗍 into the air, 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗏 you use your howitzer impact to hit it directly, then Ida will follow up with a reciprocal burst, 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗏 will finish it off with ice. F I'll call the shots here, 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗏 yelled. Before Ida could say anything, I decided to play along. Alright, what's your plan then? I asked. Okay, you knock the 𝗵𝗍 into the air, and I hit him with a howitzer impact. Ida will follow up with a reciprocal burst, then Icy Hot over there will finish it off with his ice, 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗏 explained. That's exactly what Ida said before I covered his mouth. Perfect plan, I said with a hint of sarcasm. Ingenium, 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗧𝗏, you two are more well suited for evacuating the civil lanes. Once that is done, join the fight. Alright, come 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗧𝗏, Ingenium said. 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗧𝗏 looked hesitant, but went along with Ingenium. Alright, now let's do this, I said as I rushed forward and rapidly punched the 𝗵𝗍, knocking it into the air right into 𝗵𝘃𝗁𝗏's howitzer impact. Ida with perfect timing, unleashed his reciprocal burst and knocked the 𝗵𝗍 back down into a ready 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗏. He froze the 𝗵𝗍 entirely solid. I'm surprised that worked, I said. Then the 𝗵𝗍 broke out of the ice. I should really keep my mouth shut. He rushed towards us before a yellow blur came in and knocked the 𝗵𝗍 away. You youngins shouldn't underestimate your enemy, he said. He's an old guy, but it's amazing he's still up and running like time hasn't caught up with him. I'll handle this, 𝗵𝗍𝗏 yelled as he gripped the 𝗵𝗍's head and unleashed a bright blue fire blast, before it collapsed onto the floor. I looked to the side to see all of the other 𝗵𝗍s down for the count. Even if he is destructive and lacks concern for civilians, I'll give him this, he's extremely powerful. The fires are pretty much killed thanks to the WhatIf fire department. After that, 𝗵𝗍𝗏 walked up to the four of us. Are you boys alright? 𝗵𝗍𝗏 asked. I mean, we didn't get hit once, so we're good. I replied, as 𝗵𝘃𝗃 and the old hero who told us his name was 𝗵𝗃 walked over to us. You kids are crazy to want and come here. 𝗵𝗃 yelled, especially you, though I can see why Toshinori took a liking to you. Toshi-oh-yeah, All Might mentioned him a few times. Who is Toshinori? Todoroki asked. Oh, a friend of my mom, and a personal trainer. I responded. How come I never heard of him? Bikugu asked. It's called personal, for a reason, Bikugu. I replied, before looking around the area. Oh my god. It's the cake place. I exclaimed. Everyone followed where my finger is pointing, at the small cake place. That's the place you got that cake from. Bikugu asked. Heck yeah. We're going. I exclaimed as I held out a credit card. It's all on Endeavor's tab. How did you? Endeavor yelled as he dug through his wallet. He isn't going to find a credit card in there. Midoriya, give him back his credit card. 𝗵𝘃𝗃 ordered. Fine, ruin my fun. I said as I handed him the credit card, before holding out another credit card. Well, we'll put it on your tab. I said. 𝗵𝘃𝗃 pulled out his wallet. No credit card. How did you do that? 𝗵𝘃𝗃 asked. A magician never reveals their secrets. I said before handing him back his credit card. Ingenium tensed up, but I waved him off. I like Ingenium too much to do it to him. Endeavor ultimately paid for our cake run, and at long last cake time has truly been avenged. I must say, these cakes are delicious. 𝗵𝘃𝗃 said. Told ya. I said as I finished my funfetti cake, or a white cake with sprinkles baked inside. Also known as the best invention the world has had since the light bulb. It was also cool to see the owner's reaction to three heroes coming into his small establishment to eat his baked goods. After our cake run, we all parted ways to our respective internships. Once we made it back, I picked up my weights and put them back on. After that, Bikugu and I went to our futons, satisfied with our work. I mean, why wouldn't we? We fought against a Nomu and got cake. All in all, today was a good day. Bahahaha. Holy CRP, what the heck, Bikugu? Kirishima and Zero laughed. Stop laughing. My hair's gotten used to this and I can't get it back the right way. He muttered, seething with rage. Did you not hear me? I'll kill you both. I'd like to see you try, pretty boy. Zero teased. What did you call me? Bikugu yelled, his rage causing his hair to pop back to normal. That's kinda impressive actually. Hey, there it goes. They said. Seems they haven't learned to not poke the angry bear. I commented. Awesome. You got to face actual villains. I'm super jealous. Ashido exclaimed. Well, I didn't fight. All I did was help people evacuate and provide logistical support. Jiraiya said. But it still sounds like so much fun. Ashido commented. I spent basically the whole time training and cleaning the ship deck. Though there was this one day we caught a bunch of drag smugglers. As Tsu said. Okay, that's cool. Jiraiya and Ashido commented. What about you, Ochiko? How was your week? Tsu asked as Uraraka was displaying some growth in terms of her power. I'd say that it was very enlightening. She said as she did some practice jabs in the air. I think she found her fighting spirit. Tsu said. Yeah, that battle hero must have been something else. Jiraiya commented. After 1 week she's like a totally different person. Kaminari said as Mineta shook a finger at him. Different. Don't be fooled, Kaminari. Mineta said before showing the look of fear. All women are demons at heart. They just hide their true personalities behind pretty faces. What the heck did Auntie Lady do to you? Kaminari asked. I'm curious as well, but odds are I don't want to know. Everyone at my internship loved me. It was actually kinda great. Now if you want to talk about the ones who really changed, it was those 4. Kaminari said, pointing at Ida, Todoroki, Bikugu, and myself. Oh yeah, the Hosu incident. Siro said while Bikugu was gripping his shirt. Glad you guys made it back alive. Seriously. Kirishima said. I worried about you, too. Yaoyorozu said. You were lucky Endeavor, Best Jeanist, and Ingenium was there. To help you guys. Sata said. So cool. Just what I'd expect from the number 2 hero. Lucky. Alive. Ha. I exclaimed, those villains didn't stand a chance when they faced some of you. A's elite. I boasted. DMN straight. We came, we saw, we kicked their butt. Bikuga boasted as well. Some of the A's elite. Then who else are you talking about? Kaminari asked. Well, if we're talking in terms of strength, speed, intellect, and good looks, I obviously place second. I said. Second. Everyone exclaimed. Then who is first? Sato asked. Obviously me. Bikuga yelled. Ha. No, you're like sixth, I said, which earned me a glare. It obviously belongs to Itachi. Who? Uraraka asked. Itachi. The girl with the mushroom hat. She's clearly number 1 among the A's elite of first years. I explained. I'm sorry, she's not number 1. Kaminari said. Coming from the guy who was caught in her attack. I commented, which caused him to jump and look away. She may not be strong in terms of strength, but her quirk usage is a work of genius, like Tokoyami's usage of Dark Shadow. The only difference is that Dark Shadow's movements are easy to dodge. Itachi's spores are almost invisible to the naked eye. Once you breath in those spores, you're pretty much crippled. Not to mention how she can use it as a defensive measure. I explained, you could cover your mouth and nose to not breath in the spores, but that also leaves you in a state of suffocation. At some point you'll need to take a breath, and when you do, she'll be ready. She'll be a dangerous hero. And with strong work and training she'll destroy everyone. What? I asked. And nothing. Uraraka commented. Anyway, I'm second, Yaoyorozu's third, Todoroki's fourth, Ida's fifth, Bikuga's sixth, Tokoyami's 7th morning class. Mr. Aizawa said as he entered the room, causing everyone to sit down in their seats. I am here. All Might yelled as we stood outside another ground area. Hope you're ready to return to our lessons. Today it's hero basic training. Feels like I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. He greeted. Now then. Listen carefully for what's in store. We're going to be conducting a little race. Take everything you've learned from your internships and apply it to this rescue training. Ida's arm shot up. If this is rescue training, then shouldn't we be at the USJ instead? Ida asked. Ah, that facility specialized in disasters. As I said earlier, this is a race. So prepare. You're about to step foot into Field Gamma. Inside is an area full of factories that form an intricate labyrinth, so good luck finding your way around. You'll be competing in groups of 5. Each person starts from a different location on the outskirts of the model city. I'll send a distress signal, and you do what you must to rescue me. Whoever finds me first wins. He explained before slowly pointing at Bikuga, but try to keep the property damage to a bare minimum, please. Why are you pointing at me? Bikuga growled. Alright, first group, get to your stations. All Might yelled. Thankfully I'm in the 4th group. Alright, see you guys in a bit. I said before walking away. And where are you going? Shoji asked. Somewhere that doesn't concern you. I said before running off. Hey lunch rush, hey mom. I greeted before I opened the fridge. It was such a common occurrence at this point that Mom and Lunch Rush just said hi. And what am I making? I'm making a specialty from the U.S., mainly the state of Louisiana. I said as I pulled out the ingredients. Vegetable oil, all-purpose flour, already prepped shrimp, I asked Lunch Rush if he could prepare them in exchange for me making lunch today for the school, a shrimp stock made out of shrimp shells, also prepared in advance by Lunch Rush, the holy trinity of diced green pepper, diced onions, and diced celery, many cloves of garlic, sliced okra, various edible mushrooms sliced thinly, and that's about it. One long cooking process later. By long I mean it took about 15 minutes, I then started incorporating the other ingredients into the pot to make shrimp and mushroom gumbo. And done, I said as I started serving 6 bowls of the gumbo. I handed 2 plates to Lunch Rush and Mom, and sped off for the other recipients. I burst into the 1B room and handed a bowl to 𝗧𝗵𝗃. Here you go, I said as she looked at me confused as to why I am here. 𝗵𝗃, why are you here? Vlad King asked. Early lunch 𝗣𝗵𝗿𝗺. Didn't you see the hat? I asked as I pointed to my patented 𝗣𝗵𝗿𝗺 hat. He shook his head, but I handed him a bowl, so you won't rat me out to the boss, I said as I waited to see their opinions. Oh my god, 𝗧𝗵𝗃 muttered, it's amazing. She muttered. She is correct, this is really good. Mr. King said, consider your silence bot. Awesome. Oh, and this will be served at lunch, so don't be jealous, I said before running out with my last covered bowl. And the winner is _, I'm back, I yelled as I handed 𝗷𝗵𝗃 his bribery bowl of gumbo, all the while snipping 𝗧𝗏 of his win. What? Where did you _, oh my goodness, 𝗷𝗵𝗃 yelled as he downed the whole bowl of gumbo. Excellent gumbo, young 𝗵𝗃. Oh, and congratulations, 𝗷𝗵𝗃 yelled as he handed my the congratulations satch. Thanks, now gotta go. I owe Lunch Rush a lunch off, I said before speeding off. But I guess you didn't know, as I said the story goes. Baby, now I got the flow. 'Cause I knew it from the start. Baby, when you broke my heart, that I had to come again, and show you that I'm real. It was really boring just constantly stirring a pot for 15 minutes, so I decided to jam out to American songs to pass the time. Seemed fitting considering I'm making gumbo. It was then that a second voice decided to join. You lied to me. I turned to see present 𝗵𝗃. All those times I said that I love you. You lied to me. Yes, I tried, yes, I tried. You lied to me. Even though you knew I'd die for you. You lied to me. Yes, I cried. Yes, I 𝗧𝗏𝗍𝗍. Return of the Mac, there it is, Return of the Mac, come on. Return of the Mac, oh my god. You know that I'll be back. Here I am. Return of the Mac. Once again. Return of the Mac. Top of the world. Return of the Mac. Watch my flow. You know that I'll be back. Here I go. That was straight fire, little listener. Present 𝗵𝗃 yelled. Yeah, it was, I said as I looked into the pot, dark brown, like chocolate milk, perfect. I poured the ingredients and continued stirring. I was about to grill you for missing English class, but you're already doing the assignment. Impressive, Present 𝗵𝗃 said while marking his clipboard. Sure, let's go with that, I said. What was the assignment? I asked. Pick a song in English and sing it out loud, he explained. You don't happen to have footage of that, do you? I asked. Sorry, little listener, that's being kept in a high-security vault, Present 𝗵𝗃 said. I'll pay you in gumbo, I offered. Do you want it through email or flash drive? He asked. Flash drive. Thank you, come again, I yelled as the last student grabbed their share. Afterwards I collapsed onto my stool. Man, what a pain. Excellent work, 𝗵𝗃. Lunch Rush praised, everyone loves your cooking. Well, they better, I learned from Mom who learned from you. It should be on par with 5-star restaurants across the globe, I muttered. Well, still, excellent work, he said. If you think this is good, wait till next week. These kids lack culture. Blasphemous if you ask me. Next week Mexican food, specifically menudo. I said. Doesn't that take like 10-ish hours of prep work? Lunch Rush asked as I jingled a key in front of him. Ниza got me a spare key, I'll be here in the morning of next Monday. I said before heading out of the kitchen. Lunch ended and I entered the 1A classroom only to see 𝗵𝗃𝗲 wearing an eye patch. Okay, I'll bite, what the hell happened to you? 𝗳𝗲𝗧𝗛𝗡 stabbed me in the eye without 𝗳𝗬𝗧𝗛𝗡. 𝗵𝗃𝗲𝗃 yelled as his ear was pierced by her earphone jack. Lies, he spied on us via a hole in the wall. She said. Now that seems more likely. I said before sitting in my seat. Only to see everyone looking at me. What? Where were you during the exercise? Kirishima asked. In the kitchen. Did you not see me serving up food? I asked. What? Everyone asked. But it was so good. I thought it was Lunch Rush's cooking. 𝗬𝗧𝗏𝗏 said. I'll pretend to not be offended. I'd say I'm a pretty damn good cook. I said. Needed hot sauce. 𝗵𝗃𝗲𝗏 said. Okay, listen. I said, no, everyone has a high hot sauce tolerance like you do. That's why I put hot sauce bottles on every table to satiate you people. I said. Okay, but that doesn't explain why you came 𝗵𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗏. A voice yelled. I turned to see 𝗳𝗃𝗏. Hey, what's up? I asked. I am here to say thanks for the food. She said with a bow. It was amazing. I smiled at her praise, then I turned to see everyone looking at me. What now? You made food for her first? Everyone asked. Yeah. I made 5 preliminary bowls. One for Mom, one for Lunch Rush, one for 𝗳𝗃𝗏, one for Mr. King to buy his silence, and one for All Might for his silence. I explained. But that's not fair. 𝗧𝗏 wind. It's called favoritism. Unfair, but it's real. I said with a smirk, before looking at 𝗳𝗃𝗏, get ready for next week though. I said before leaning in closer, we're having Mexican food. Oh. I always wanted to try that. She exclaimed with excitement. Then get ready for next Monday. I said with a smile. What's happening next Monday? Ida asked. Classified information. Need to know basis. I said while waving him off. Anyway, you need to go to class. I said. Oh right. Bye. She said before running back to class. Looks like I have a reason to go all out next week. The next day we apparently have a pressing matter to address in homeroom. Summer vacation is close at hand. Of course it would be completely irrational for all of you to take a whole month off. Mr. 𝗳𝗏𝗏 prefaced with. Don't tell me. 𝗵𝗃𝗏𝗏 muttered. You'll be doing a summer training camp in the woods. Mr. 𝗳𝗏𝗏 stated. I freaking knew it. Nice. 𝗵𝗃𝗏𝗏 yelled. Everyone started to talk about what they would be doing at camp, most were fun, one was perverted, and one silenced the whole class with his glares. However, anyone who doesn't the upcoming final exams is in for summer school hell, right here. Mr. 𝗳𝗏𝗏 threatened as Kirishima decided to sound off. Do your best, guys. Kirishima yelled. On the topic of final exams. There is only 1 week left before your final exams begin. I'm sure you're all studying constantly, right? Don't forget to keep training. The written exam is only one element. There's also the practical portion to worry about. Mr. 𝗳𝗏𝗏 said before heading towards the door, good luck. He said before leaving. I've barely even taken notes this semester. Both 𝗵𝗃𝗏𝗏 and 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 yelled. 𝗵𝗃𝗏𝗏 was freaking out and 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 was laughing like a maniac. And with the sports festival and internship, I didn't have time to read the textbook. He exclaimed, it's true that we haven't had very much free time lately. 𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏 muttered. We'd barely learned anything when we took our midterms, so they didn't seem all that strong, but I'm kinda worried about these. 𝗧𝗃 said, "We've been through a lot, and they probably won't pull any punches when it comes to testing us." Then it was 𝗵𝗃𝗲's turn to throw in his 2 cents, "As someone ranked in the top 10, I'm not that concerned." 𝗵𝗃𝗲 said. "What? You were 9th in the midterms." Kaminari and Ishido exclaimed. "Ah, man, and here I thought you were one of us." Ishido yelled. "Don't you know weirdo little creeps like you are only likable if they're kind of stupid? Who's going to like you now?" Kaminari yelled. "Everyone trust me." 𝗵𝗃𝗲 said. "Yeah, don't hold your breath." I responded, then everyone started to look at me. I shouldn't have said a word. "Midoriya help us." 80% of the class yelled. "Gah!" I yelled, gripping my back. "And Midoriya? Are you okay?" Ida yelled. "Why, yeah, just some back pain from carrying the whole team on my back." I said, "Seriously, you shouldn't depend on me to bail you out too much. The universe knows I save you all pretty much daily. Besides, you have the 3rd best and the 5th best helping you." I said, pointing at Yaoyorozu and Ida respectively. Alright, but 3rd best? I don't think so," she said. "I didn't say that so you could be modest, I said it so you would be inspired. So will you help our sorry classmates in Ida, Uraraka, Todoroki, and Azui-Tsu?" Her eyes are sparkling. "Yes, let's do it," she exclaimed, jumping out of her seat. As everyone cheered at her agreement. After Yaoyorozu explained the grave lengths she would go through to make sure we all pass, lunch came around. But still, what's the practical about? Strong to believe they'd give us anything too crazy. Ida said as he dug into his lunch. "The written exam questions will be all the stuff we from class, so easy peasy." I said as Uraraka paled. "Do you really think it's going to be that simple?" Uraraka asked. "Though the practical exam is one I'm having trouble figuring out." I muttered. "It's a comprehensive test of everything we learned this year." Hagakure said. "Yup, and that's about all we could get Mr. Aizawa to tell us." Tsuyu added. "Okay, so then it'll cover combat training and rescue training." "Oh, and basic training," Uraraka said. Well, studying won't be enough. We need to be in good shape to pass the prac-ga." I yelped, "Alright, who was the 𝗵𝗃𝗃? Sorry. Your head's so big that it's strong to miss." Monoma said. "You shouldn't talk all that CRP, considering you almost blew yourself up trying to use my power." I countered. He ignored my comments. "I heard you and some other students ran into the League of Villains again. Honestly, it's like you guys are gluttons for punishment. It's starting to get dangerous, right? Oh, I wonder what kind of villains you will bring upon us by your AC-wax slam. That's not cool, Monoma." "Geez. Oh, Kendo, how you been?" I asked. "Pretty good, and so was that food you made yesterday. What was it again?" she asked. "Gumbo, I can send you the recipe if you want." I said. "I'm good for now. Anyway, I was listening. I know you're all worried about what's going to be on the big final practical. I heard it's going to be combat against robots like the entrance exam." "Huh?" Ida asked. "Really?" Uraraka asked as well. "How did you know that?" "One of my friends who's a few grades up filled me in." "I know. Cheating. But oh, well," she said. "No, I don't think so," I said, which got a confused look from Kendo. "That sounds too easy given the stakes. Especially for me," I said. "Oh right, you're super strong and fast," Kendo said. "I'm almost 100% certain," I said as everyone looked at me. "We're going up against the 𝗳𝗏𝗵𝗃𝗃 Midoriya Teacher's Lounge now," Mr. Aizawa said. Seems I was right on the money. I got up and followed Mr. Aizawa to the teacher's lounge. Once inside, Mr. Aizawa let me go. "You're way too smart for your own good, you know that?" he asked. "I'll take that as a compliment." But there is a few logistical problems with that idea. Mainly me. I said as I walked over to the whiteboard. Okay, so this is the pairings I think will happen for our final if my theory is correct. I said as I wrote the combination of students along with the teacher that suits them for a challenge. However, there is a problem. Me. I'm obviously going to fight All Might, makes sense. However, whomever I'm fighting with will have a guarantee pass. And if you're grading it based on who does the most or any work. Then what then? I asked. Then I saw Mr. 𝗧𝗵𝗲 write stuff down. Are you writing my combinations? I yelled, yes. Thanks for making my life easier. He said before setting his notebook aside, as for you, I already have a solution for you. What? I asked. If I tell you, you'll prepare for it. You already know the practical. No need to give you of all people a bigger advantage. Speaking of, if you say anything about the test to anyone. Instant fail, no going to the summer camp, and staying here at summer school hell. Got it? Mr. 𝗧𝗵𝗲 asked. See crystal? I said. Good. He said as the bell rang, now back to class. The moment I entered the classroom I was swarmed by all of 1A, and 1B, he's back. 𝗫𝗬𝗏 yelled. What happened? Did you figure out the practical? 𝗵𝗃𝗲 asked. Yes, but I can't say it. I said. Why not? 𝗵𝗃𝗏 yelled. If I do, then I will fail instantly. No second chances. I said, which caused everyone to back off, so for my sanity. Don't ask me about it. Fine. 𝗬𝗏𝗁 said. And what are all of you doing here? Get to class, go. I yelled as I shooed the entirety of 1B out of here. Wait. Hold on. 𝗳𝗃𝗁. I called out. She turned to face me. What is it? She asked. We're having a study session at 𝗳𝗲𝗧𝗛𝗔 this weekend, want to come with? I asked. Hey. Where's the charitable offers in this direction? 𝗬𝗧𝗪 asked. Oh, I guess you all can come too. I said. 𝗵𝗃𝗲 said. Don't 𝗵𝗃𝗲 me. You want me to help you? Then those are my demands. The others are a bonus, I guess. I responded. Yes, I would like to come. 𝗳𝗃𝗁 said. Great. I'm sure the rest of you jerks are coming, right? I asked. The other 18 looked at 𝗫𝗬𝗏, the mom of 1B, who nodded, yes, we can go. Then it's settled, and you're helping us 𝗫𝗫𝗏, you have no choice whatsoever. I said with a smirk, now leave, class is going to begin right now. Mr. 𝗧𝗵𝗲 said as 1B sped out of the classroom. We'll see them later. The rest of the week was filled with intense training and studying. Due to final exams being next week, I'll have to delay my cooking day to next week, but the weekend rolled around and our 1A and 1B study session has arrived. Most were enthusiastic, some were indifferent, 2 were rambling about darkness, 1 would rather be shredded in a paper shredder than be here, and 1 had to be forcibly dragged here by me. Alright. I said as I slammed 𝗵𝗃𝗲 into a chair, everyone's here. You 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗟𝗘. I'll kill you. He yelled at the fact that he had to be carried here. Hush, the adults are talking. I said as he started spewing a slew of swears at me, but quickly died down to growls. So, for efficiency the 4 of us will take a specific field. I will take math. I shall take English. 𝗳𝗏𝗏 said. Modern art history. 𝗫𝗫𝗏 stated. And that would leave me with modern literature. 𝗳𝗲𝗧𝗛𝗏 concluded. Now, that doesn't mean we won't be able to help you with different fields. I'd say we're pretty good at everything. So if the leader of your specific field is busy with a question, feel free to ask us anything. We good? I asked as everyone nodded. Okay, break. Okay, so you then divide by 10. I said as I tapped the equation in front of 𝗳𝗃𝗁. But what about this? 𝗳𝗃𝗁 asked, pointing at the next equation. That's called an integral. It's the opposite of derivative dash, you know others need your help, right? Ida asked. Yeah, give me a minute. I responded. You said that 10 times, and I gave you a minute for each time you said it. Ida countered. You're right. Give me 5 minutes. I said before focusing on 𝗧𝗧𝗏 again. Midoriya. Ida yelled. 𝗧𝗏𝗏, ha ha ha. 𝗧𝗏𝗏 then burst into laughter. I smiled and decided to have a little fun. Ah, see, look what you did. You made her laugh and ruined her concentration. 15-minute penalty, automatic first down. Midoriya joked. Giggles flew out of 𝗧𝗏𝗏's mouth, which made Ida even more annoyed, which made her laugh even harder. It's an infinite loop of hilarity. Perfect. You're making it worse, Ida. I said before hammering the nail home, you were the chosen one. It was said that you would destroy my antics, not fuel them. Bring balance to this study session, not plunge it into laughter. That's when Ida broke. He was flailing his arms and spouting random nonsense, and in turn 𝗧𝗏𝗏 erupted into full-blown laughter. Ida then cooled down and pinched his nose. I hate you, he muttered. Oh, he's making this too easy. You were my brother, Ida, I loved you. 𝗧𝗏𝗏 continued to laugh. It was then Kendo who stepped in to stop this. Alright, that's enough, Ida. 𝗬𝗏𝗃 will die from laughter if you don't. She said, though she was fighting back a smile. Seems my nickname is sticking. I quipped. And hey, it's not my fault, Ida kept giving me material to work with. I said with a smile as 𝗧𝗏𝗏 calmed down. Oh, so now it's my fault? Ida asked. Yeah, weren't you paying attention? I asked, pouring more fuel into the ever-growing flame that is Ida's impatience. Ha, oh my gosh. 𝗧𝗏𝗏 muttered, trying to regain her breath. Boo bump ha. Why is my heart racing when she's laughing? And why do I want to hear more of her adorable laughter? Wait, adorable? I mean, sure, she's cute as a button, but why is my heart beating so fast? Weird. I'll have to ask Ida or Uraraka or someone about it later. Anyway, time to finish off this act. And this is why Star Wars Episode 3 is the best of the prequel era, and one of the best Star Wars films ever. /N, yes, it did just hit me that I haven't done any POV changes. But hey, 15 chapters late than never, right? Komori's, 𝗧𝗏𝗏's, POV. The study session continued on after that rant/act. Midoriya finally gave up and helped other people, though the moment I had a question he came over instantly, much to the annoyance of others. Oh, you don't have to help me right now. I said, but he shook his head. Oh, hogwash, you're on the top of my priority list. He said. Tetsu then responded. How is that fair? It's not, life is never fair. Besides, if there is one I would like to go to the camp the most, it's 𝗧𝗏𝗏. Then Kendo, she's the second most tolerable one out of you lot. He then listed off his personal tier list of us, and I was at the top. My face burned with embarrassment and 𝗬𝗏𝗏 was quick to point that out. Seems you got the strongest student's attention. Not bad. She teased as my face burned hotter. It's not that. I yelled. Thankfully Midoriya didn't hear it due to his ramblings. By my sheer bad luck, the pink girl from 1A, Mina Ashido, decided to join 𝗬𝗏𝗏's team. Well, he certainly prefers you over anyone else. I remember last week he told us that he thinks you're the strongest one here, even ahead of him. And no way. I countered. Way. It's obvious he has like you more, heck, he might have feelings for you. She said. And no, he doesn't. I countered again, but someone else joined the fray, the girl with earphone jacks for earlobes, Kyuka. No, he does. And besides, he's the one who would actively try for you. He saved you specifically during the USJ attack. Gyro said. That was because my hat was noticeable. I countered. He also held and comforted you. Monoma said, joining the conversation. I was scared, and it was for the good of the group I keep calm. I responded. He also made you food earlier than anyone else, and the only ones he made food for is lunch rush, All Might, Mr. King, and his mom. 𝗧𝗵𝗲 said. Dang it, I forgot about it. Do you concede? 𝗬𝗏𝗂𝗧𝗏 asked. Fine, I might think he's a super sweet guy. And he makes me food before anyone else. And saved me and cheered me up during the USJ incident. And purposefully didn't use his quirk unless absolutely necessary to give me the spotlight. I said. Oh, who am I kidding? He's super nice to me and I like him. Gah. But why me though? He has other better-looking girls in his class. Because he didn't care for a relationship at the time. A voice behind me said. I jolted and turned around, revealing 𝗳𝗲𝗧𝗛𝗔𝗚. Was I saying that out loud? I asked. Yup. 𝗧𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏 commented loud and clear. Kendo responded. You're lucky 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏 bailed to the bathroom, just to not answer a modern literature question. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗁 said. Everyone heard me. This is the worst day of my life. What do I do? I muttered. The nerd probably doesn't have the brain capacity to understand the feelings of a crush. The blonde-haired angry guy of 1A, 𝗬𝗵𝗃𝗁 sneered. That's not nice 𝗬𝗬𝗧, the red-haired kid of 1A, 𝗳𝗲𝗃𝗁 commented, but was cut off by 𝗵𝗃𝗁. First off, he doesn't show up for school, and the only women he has come into contact with are his mom and the beach at his old job, along with his classmates. And even so he has openly stated he isn't interested. 𝗵𝗃𝗁 commented, so he never had a crush before but it's not a foreign concept to him. But what do I do? I asked. The F if I know, I'm not 𝗵𝗃𝗲. He yelled, but if you want my opinion, jump face first into it. The worst thing he could say, is that he doesn't share your feelings, and knowing your current relationship he'll probably let you down easy. What? 𝗵𝗃𝗁 asked. That was surprisingly deep. What's surprisingly deep? We all flinched to see 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏 flicking his hands to remove the excess water. This poetry right here. 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟 yelled pointing to the book, deep stuff right here. Poetry doesn't do it for me. 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏 said before the grandfather clock sounded off. 8 o'clock, well this was fun, but I gotta go cook dinner for mom. See y'all later. He said as he packed up his things and headed out the door. He seems too focused on finals. I'd recommend confessing after. 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟 suggested. But that's too soon. I exclaimed. Well, better soon than never. Besides, the more you wait, the more stressed you get. Yanagi said. But fine. I muttered as everyone cheered. The ball is rolling, ladies and gentlemen. And 𝗵𝗃𝗁. F you. During the commotion I packed up my stuff and began heading to the station, with one ever-massive question on my mind. How do I confess my feelings without making a fool of myself? Alright, put your pencils down. The last person in each row bring the answer sheets to me and 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏 wake up. SNK, ha. Oh, it's already over. Man, I'm getting slower. I muttered, cracking my back. You're the best guys. 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟 yelled at 𝗳𝗲𝗧𝗏 and I didn't leave anything blank at least. He said with confidence. Well, that's improvement. After the answer sheets were collected we were bussed to the location of the practical, and most of the teachers are there in front of us. Now then, let us begin the last test. Remember, it's possible to fail this final. If you want to go to camp then don't make any stupid mistakes. Mr. Aizawa said. Why are all the teachers here? Jiro asked. Because you're looking at who we are facing during the practical. I said. What? Jiro asked. The teachers. Uraraka asked. Impressive deduction, Mr. 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏. A voice inside Mr. Aizawa's scarf said. Out comes Principal Nizu. I had a hunch, but when Mr. Aizawa wrapped his scarf around my face, it confirmed it for me. I replied, like he said, I'm too smart for my own good. So enlighten me, what's the deal on my situation? That's right, you're incredibly strong, even with the weights. 𝗳𝗲𝗂𝗧𝗛𝗏 responded. We shall get to that soon, but first, let us explain the actual practical. No need to get hasty now, Principal 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 said. As 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 explained, you all will be divided into pairs. These pairs, along with whomever teacher you will have to fight against, have been decided based on multiple factors. However, the pairs were made not by us but by 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 himself. Mr. 𝗳𝗧𝗏 said. I felt everyone's eyes fall upon me. Wow, way to throw me under the bus like that, I muttered. But what Mr. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 said brings up an intriguing point. He is much too powerful to be paired with any teacher, even All Might have trouble against him, and after all this final is for you to see improvement, Principal 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 said. Which is why, we had 1B do their final on Mondays, and why you had to take them on Tuesdays. Mr. 𝗳𝗧𝗏 said, we were lucky that one student failed their final exam. He said, pointing behind us. We turned to see 𝗵𝗃𝗵𝗏. 𝗵𝗃𝗵𝗏 failed his practical. Was the only one to do that. Principal 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 explained. That's not fair, 𝗳𝗏𝗂𝗧𝗏 said, giving him a second chance. I see now. 21, 10 pairs and me, I said. Exactly correct. Now, here is where you come into play, 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. You won't have just one team. It dawned on me. No way, I muttered before looking at all of the teachers. I'm fighting all 10. Correct. Principal 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 cheered. That will be the equalizer. While Mr. 𝗵𝗃𝗏 will have a second chance, all of you will have a third partner, Mr. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. You will be put into all 10 pairs, making it a team of 3. However, that's not all of your restrictions, Mr. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. First, it's 10 straight rounds. No stopping by recovery girl in between matches. Mr. 𝗳𝗧𝗏 started. In case you forgot, I go down in like 5 strong hits, I said. But you can go faster than the speed of sound, Mr. 𝗳𝗧𝗏 countered. No, I can't go that fast, I responded. But you can still go fast. If you get hit, then it's your fault. Anyway, moving on. Using your quirk to fight as well as using your quirk to move others around is prohibited. The only time you can use your quirk to fight is when the 2 other members of your team fall. You are mainly there for guidance. However, one staff member said that making your quirk a one and done situation is too harsh, so you get 3 strikes. Use your quirk 3 times and you're out, Mr. 𝗳𝗧𝗏 said. So the first 2 are freebies, I asked. Correct. Also, you are not allowed to step out of the exit. If you do, instant failure. As well as, you are not allowed to give them the right answer, because that would be too easy. Guide them, but don't hold their hand, Principal 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 added. So I have to guide them, but not tell them the right answer, I asked. That is correct, Principal 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏 said. Permission to whack them upside the head should their plan be stupid, I asked. So long you don't tell them the right answer, then by all means, he said. Tee-hee-hee, I chuckled before cracking my knuckles. That's going to be fun, so for your sake, don't do anything stupid. They all fearfully nodded, everyone except 𝗳𝗏𝗏. Bah, he wouldn't hurt 𝗳𝗏𝗏𝗥. I took off the weight on my right hand and slapped her on the cheek. It wasn't a strong hit by any means, just enough to send the message that I couldn't care less about gender constructs. Ow! She exclaimed, rubbing her cheek. I would should the need call for it. Same with hitting a guy too. I'd call myself a pacifist but willing to get violent should the need call for it. If that thing about hitting a girl was true, then the world would be dominated by female villains. I responded before putting my weight back on. Anyway, carry on. I plan to, Mr. 𝗳𝗧𝗏 said before looking at me. One more thing to you, 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. Mr. 𝗳𝗧𝗏 interjected, while you have 10 teams, this is all lumped into one final. If you fail, even once, game over. That's totally unreal. I'm fine with that, I said. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏. I'm fine, 𝗳𝗏𝗏. It's my burden to bear. So do you want me to say the pairs? Or do you want Mike to have the spotlight? I asked. Mike gave Mr. Aizawa a pleading look, but Mr. Aizawa shook his head. I'll handle it. The pairs are as follows. Kirishima and Sata vs 𝗵𝗃𝗧. Tsuyu and Tokoyami vs ectoplasm. Ida and Ajira vs 𝗵𝗃𝗍𝗺. Todoroki and Yaoyorozu vs Mr. Aizawa/Eraserhead. Uraraka and Aoyama vs 13. Kaminari and Ishido vs Principal Nizu. Man, they need a lot of work. Kuda and Jiraiya vs Present Mike, Hagakure and Shoji vs Snipe. Mineta and Zero vs Midnight. Oh dear gosh, we're doomed. And finally, Bakugo and Minoma against //slam. I am here to fight. All Might exclaimed as Minoma and Bakugo looked on in fear. You're going to have to work together, boys, if you want to win. Ha! I chuckled. This is going to be fun. To complete the exam, you'll have 30 minutes. In order to win, your objective is put these HNDCFFS on your teacher. Or you can win if you escape from the combat stage. Principal Nizu explained. So we either have to capture the teacher or run away. Kaminari repeated. But is it really okay for us to just jet? Ishido asked. Principal Nizu gave her a thumbs up. Is that even his thumb? Focus. Yup. Present Mike then spoke up. It's going to be much harder than that combat training y'all went through earlier. After all, you're going up against someone way better than you. Better? Really? Wait, aren't you just the announcer? Jiro asked. Don't poke the guy who can blow our eardrums out with a verbal stick, please. I prefer not needing a hearing aid. I muttered. This time, your exam will be very similar to a real battle. As strange as it is, please picture us as villains. 13 explained. Assuming you come across your enemy. If you think you can win against them, then fight. However, Snipe started. In instances where you're outmatched, it would be smarter to run away and find help. Mr. Aizawa finished. So fight to win, or run to win. Bakugo muttered. That's right. It's a test of your decision-making skills. But with these rules, you're probably thinking your only real choice is to flee. That's why the support course made these super clever accessories for us. All Might said, holding up a wait a minute. Behold. Ultra compressed weights. Present Mike exclaimed. These babies will add about half our body weight to our physiques. It's not much, but they will eat up our stamina and make it harder for us to move around. All Might said before struggling, oh shoot, these are heavier than I thought. Hey look. I said before pulling my sleeves and breathe, legs up, we match. Oh, that's right. You had the weights long before this. Uraraka commented. Yeah, but I upgraded to double the weight. I said. D-double? Ida asked. Yeah, I'll plateau if I stick to the same equipment. I responded before looking at Aizawa. I assume I'm forced to wear these. I asked. You're free to do whatever, so long you don't use your quirk in combat or to escape. Mr. Aizawa explained. Oh, thank frick. I said as I took off my weights and dropped them onto the floor, making mini dust clouds around them. I rolled my arm and got a few satisfying cracks out of it. That was getting strong to deal with. I said before zooming around. What the? I heard Snipe mutter. I eventually returned to the ground. That was fun. I said. Remember, you can't use your quirk to fight, and you are not allowed to flee. Got it? He asked as I nodded. Now, let's begin. The T's will take the practical exam in the order you were called. We have a stage prepared for you. Sato, Kirishima, and Midoriya. You're up. Yes, sir. They said. Those waiting their turn to fight can either watch the exams or try to strategize as a team. It's your choice. That's all. Mr. Aizawa said as the teachers entered the facility. I picked up my weights and set them inside a reinforced locker that said Midoriya's weights. Once they were put away for now, I followed 𝗵𝗃𝗃 and 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟. Let's do this. So, if we capture 𝗵𝗃𝗃 we get more points, right? 𝗵𝗃𝗃 asked as we were walking down the road of the faux city. Yeah, that sounds right. 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗟 said as they turned to look at me. Well, that's an idea. But what's your plan? I asked. We will use our strength and take him down. 𝗳𝗿𝗧𝗛𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 I asked. They make us super strong. 𝗧𝗪 asked. Technically correct, but think deeper. Every quirk has a weakness. What's your quirk's weakness? I asked. Time limit. 𝗵𝗃 said. Thank goodness, I was about to smack you both for taking too long. So with that in mind, what's the massive problem with your plan? I asked. We'll run out of time before we get to him. 𝗧𝗪 asked. Ding. Ding ding, get these two a medal. I cheered. 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏 either doesn't have a time limit or one that is long after 30 minutes. So with that in mind, what is a better plan? 𝗵𝗃 looked around then walked towards the building. I have an idea. He said. Which is? I asked as 𝗵𝗃 and 𝗧𝗪 walked close to me for a huddle. One of us climbs into the building and takes to the rooftops, while another stays down here and distracts 𝗵𝗃𝗧. He can't focus on both of us, and even if he did, his quirk wouldn't get to the person on the room in time. He explained before looking at me. What? Sounds like a solid plan to me. But who will go onto the rooftop and who will distract 𝗵𝗃𝗧? There's an obvious answer here. I said. I should go onto the rooftops. 𝗧𝗪 said. Interesting, why? I asked. With my quirk, if I eat 10 grams of sugar I get strong for 5 minutes. After I get tired. He said. I see, go on. I asked. That way, I won't be close up onto the action, and if I need to I can limit my sugar consumption, right? He asked. I don't know if it's right. But sounds like a well thought out plan to me. All it needs now is execution. I said, welp, good luck with that. I said as they ran off to face 𝗵𝗃𝗧. Like I, and eventually they, expected. 𝗵𝗃𝗧 was having a strong time multitasking with 𝗵𝗃's onslaught and 𝗧𝗪's rooftop run. However, 𝗧𝗪 wasn't getting blocked by cement walls. Weird. Oh well, works for him. 𝗧𝗪 eventually made it to the exit, earning them the passing grade. Excellent job, boys. 𝗵𝗃𝗧 said as I patted 𝗵𝗃 on the shoulder. Not bad at all. I said, which earned me a tired smile from 𝗵𝗃, but I have to ask, why didn't you stop 𝗧𝗪? I asked. The rooftops were made of metal. He explained. Oh, I see. Your quirk only works on cement or cement-infused materials. I said. Correct. But that hardly matters now. He and 𝗧𝗪 passed. He said. Shoot. I have to get to the next test. I said, catch you all later. I yelled before speeding off. 1 down 10 to go. 𝗬 and 𝗃𝗁𝗵𝗃 were standing outside their areas waiting for me. Sorry I'm late. I said. So 𝗵𝗃 and 𝗧𝗪 passed. Probably due to your help. 𝗬 said. Trust me, they would have failed had I not smacked them upside the head. They were going to rush face first against 𝗵𝗃𝗧 of all people. Not a good sign, but they'll learn. I said, anyway, what's your guys' plan for ectoplasm? Mr. Ectoplasm can make clones appear anywhere, 𝗵𝗃𝗿. I've researched how many he can make based on videos of his glory days. I counted 30 times. 𝗬 said. So we decided to utilize our skill sets to make up for our weaknesses, specifically mine. 𝗃𝗁𝗵𝗃 started. I am excellent at long-range attacks, however close range he's not very good, 𝗵𝗃𝗿. 𝗬 finished. So, at the start I'm certain that Mr. Ectoplasm will send out a bunch of clones at us at the beginning. We will run it first, then after Mr. Ectoplasm sends more he will attack the clones he can, while I use my tongue to pull him away should clones get too close. Any thoughts? 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗲 asked. I didn't slap you too, so it's fine by me, I said before walking towards the entrance. However, having a plan is one thing. Executing properly is another. So let's see if you can execute. Both 𝗬𝗵𝗲 and 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗲 nodded before all three of us entered the building. We were then greeted by a lone ectoplasm. That lone ectoplasm turned into 8 of them. 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗲 stuck to the plan by launching 𝗬𝗵𝗲 up to another level. She then used her tongue to give him a lift to her level. So far so good, I said as I waved bye to the ectoplasm clones before jumping to their level. Once all 3 of us got there, more clones arrived to stop us. 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗲 handled the ones far away from him with his dark shadow. However, more clones appeared right in front of him. 𝗬𝗵𝗲 used her tongue to take 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗲 to another level away from the clones. I counted 15 out of his 30 limit. When we made it to a hallway, I counted 8 again. So we're at 27, so either he can make 3 more, or his limit is longer than 30. Well, that doesn't matter, because a lone ectoplasm, probably the real one, stands between them and the door. I'm impressed you've made it this far. But this is where I stand, he yelled as he created a gigantic clone of himself and captured 𝗬𝗵𝗲, 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗲, and I. However, I saw 𝗬𝗧's tongue reach out for something, so that's her backup strategy. Interesting. 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗲 sent out Dark Shadow to fight off the lone ectoplasm. He was putting up a good fight, not letting Dark Shadow cross the finish line. However, 𝗬𝗧 told 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗲 to call Dark Shadow back so she could give him something time to see if this gambit pays its dividends. Dark Shadow took the item and rushed back towards ectoplasm. He took one last kick before placing the handcuff on his peg leg. And that's all she wrote, I muttered before destroying the giant clone and landing with 𝗳𝗂𝗵𝗲 and 𝗬𝗧 on my shoulders. Excellent job, you two, Ectoplasm said with a smile. At least I think it's a smile anyway. Well, my job of doing nothing is done. You two had it done yourselves, I said before walking away. 2 out of 10, time for the next bout. I like this idea. I'll be Pidge and Keith, the arms. You'll be Lance and Hunk, the legs. And Ojiro will form the head and be Shiro, I exclaimed. Form Voltron. I feel like this lowers the success rate of my plan, Iida said. Nonsense. Let's go, I exclaimed, pointing towards the exit. I can feel Ojiro's nervousness on my back. Can we go now? He asked. Ha, fine, Iida muttered before he got ready. 𝗧𝗵𝗲. Iida yelled as he sprinted down the way, avoiding all the traps power loader set. However, the ground in front of us collapses, so Iida leaps into the air and tells Ojiro to wrap his tail around his leg. Once he leaned back to wrap his tail around his leg, Iida used his 𝗧𝗵𝗲 to spin around rapidly. Ojiro with excellent timing sent himself flying towards the exit. Power loader was what stood in his way though. With one tail bat, Ojiro sailed past the exit. Good job, Iida, I said as I let go of him before he fell back onto the ground. Wait, Midoriya, why are you floating? Power loader asked. Oh, I passed by the monitoring room on the way here. I gave Uraraka a good luck high five, and now I'm weightless. It was mainly for the Voltron joke, I said with a smirk. But that's cheating, Power loader asked. Is it though? None of you said using other people's quirks to your advantage was against the rules, I countered. Besides, I can't do much and I was itching for a good GG. So it was either that or I stood at the entrance and did nothing. Besides, my play-by-play announcing isn't good at all. Fine, fair enough, Power loader said. I suddenly fell butt over elbows onto the floor. I could just feel Uraraka laughing at me right now. Uraraka's POV bahahaha. Oh, please tell me you got that on video, I asked while trying to keep my laughter in check and failing. I did, ribbit, 𝗬𝗧 said as she showed me the video of Midoriya falling on his butt, then looking really mad. Oh, it was so worth giving him weightlessness. *𝗵𝗃𝗲 POV again. I mainly did that for the GG. Yup, definitely laughing at me. I muttered as I got off of the floor, then looked to my right. And I'm stuck. Ida said. PBT, hahaha. I laughed and took out my phone to record the sight before me. Ida is currently stuck up to his neck in the dirt. Am I bad friend for laughing at him? Probably. Will I stop? Nope. Stop laughing at me. Ida ordered. Heck no. Iteik will get a kick out of this one. I said, until 𝗵𝗃 dug him out. Don't you have a match to get to? 𝗵𝗃 said. Shoot. Gotta go. I yelled before I pocketed my phone and ran over to the next test. 3 out of 10. So far so good. But this one might be difficult. Yaoyorozu, Todoroki, and I were hiding in an alleyway. Todoroki was looking around the corner for Mr. Aizawa before he turned back towards us. Our success will depend on which one of us finds the other first. Once we spot him, I'll draw him to me. Then you can run to the escape gate and win this thing for us. Just stay close to me until then. He said before looking at me. Is that fine? Normally I would say something. But you're forgetting an important part about this. So I won't say anything until you figure that out. I said. What? Todoroki asked, sounding annoyed. Hey, I'm not supposed to just give you the answer now, am I asked. Fine. He muttered before looking at Yaoyorozu. Come on, start making things. He ordered. Sure. No problem. Yaoyorozu muttered. At this rate, this will be a failure. Yaoyorozu has lost most if not all of her confidence. It wasn't this bad during the sports festival, it must have been Iwabumi's internship. I saw the commercial remind me to slap her when I see her. Objectifying my friends, how dare she? Anyway, that's where it gets strong. How can I tell Todoroki that Yaoyorozu wants to say something without telling him that? Fine, I'll let this thing run its course. The moment it's totaling, I'll step in. Todoroki, Yaoyorozu, and I are running down the road, all the while Yaoyorozu is making Russian dolls. All the while Todoroki is using his ice. Let me know, is your quirk is acting strangely at all? Todoroki said as he continued running. Yaoyorozu hesitated before following. I'd expect nothing less from you, Todoroki. She muttered. What do you mean? Todoroki asked. You were able to come up with a plan to use against Mr. Aizawa so quickly. You knew exactly what was best as soon as we started. She said, sounding absolutely sad. This is nothing. Todoroki, who can't read emotional cues even if it's brighter than neon lights, replied. No. You're wrong. Yaoyorozu said, standing still. She stopped making dolls, as students who got into you. Through recommendations, we started from the same place. But in terms of the practical skills that a hero needs, I haven't really managed to do anything that stands out. During the cavalry battle, I just followed your orders. And all I did for the tournament was beat Komori, then was thoroughly defeated the next round. I glanced upwards. Mr. Aizawa is right above us. Wait, Yaoyorozu, you stopped making those dolls. Todoroki said, before looking around. He's coming. I'm sorry. She said as I looked above him. If you know I'm here, then you should be acting. Mr. Aizawa said. Todoroki swiped his hand at him, but Mr. Aizawa dropped before his swing could hit. I would suggest that you prioritize evasion since I've taken your power from you. Yaoyorozu, Midoriya. Go. Todoroki yelled, fighting Mr. Aizawa all alone. Yaoyorozu flinched, before running away. I followed her close behind her. We were running, but Yaoyorozu was breathing heavily. She's growing more and more hysterical by the second. And Midoriya, what should I do? What's the right answer? Where's the 𝗧𝗍𝗪? I slapped her across the face. She landed on her but while clutching her cheek. You were getting hysterical. Take a moment to breath. Take a moment. Mr. Aizawa is coming. 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗛𝗃 countered. *****, make me a smoke bomb, we need to talk. I said. Or we could talk in the open. Either way, we're talking. I replied. Oh okay. She said as she handed me a smoke bomb from her forearm. I heard Mr. Aizawa leap towards us, so I pulled the pin and dropped the bomb onto the ground. Once the smoke has risen, I pulled her far away from him. This should be far enough. Okay, what's wrong? I asked. And nothing's wrong. She replied. I already know what's wrong, but I want to hear it from you. What's wrong with you? I asked again. I don't think I'm worthy of coming here. I got in on recommendations, but I feel like I don't deserve it. If anything, you deserve it more than me. That's a steaming pile of bullshit and you know it. I said, which quieted her down. Dude, I'm lazy as SHT. If I had gotten in on a recommendation, then I would have questioned the criteria for that award, because I'm the least deserving. As for you, you're way more deserving than I am. But you're equal if not greater than I am in terms of intellect. Not to mention your quirk is way more versatile than mine, and above all else, you give 100% of your effort 100% of the time. Sure, I may be stronger in terms of strength and speed, but last I checked, you don't go down in like 5 strong hits or something along those lines. I could be highballing even. I said as I gripped her shoulders, you're our leader, our class rep, and above all else the top of the F class. Show some confidence, girl. Oh okay. She stuttered. Now, repeat after me. I am amazing. I said. I am amazing. She repeated. I am going to be a hero. I am going to be a hero. I will go out there and beat Mr. Aizawa's butt. I will go out there and beat Mr. Aizawa's butt. Louder and more feeling. I will go out there and beat Aizawa's butt. I will go out there and beat Aizawa's butt. That's what I'm talking about. I yelled before letting her go. Now, let's find that dead weight known as Todoroki, he deserves a slap too. Right. She said as we headed outside. Only to see Mr. Aizawa stand in front of us. Nice pep talk there, Midoriya, but I'm afraid you're not going anywhere. He said as he glared at us. Think you can handle him, or should I asked. You can't attack or else you'll get an instant failure. She said, sounding more confident. So shield your eyes. She yelled as she threw her dolls at him. He slashed one of them, revealing a flash grenade that blinded him. We took that opportunity to run. I see, blinding Mr. Aizawa so he won't erase our quirks, clever girl. I praised. His quirk has been weakened because of the USJ incident. As such, I exploited it for an advantage. She said. Hey, that's why you're the president. I said as we caught up with Todoroki. 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗛𝗃 untied him and slowly lowered him back to the ground. Todoroki, make an ice wall. 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗛𝗃 yelled as Todoroki made a giant ice wall separating us and Mr. Aizawa. Impressive. Now what's any dash, I said before I saw 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗛𝗃 open her costume to make something from her chest. Well, that's something I didn't need or want to see. Is that Mr. Aizawa's scarf you're making? Todoroki asked, turning away as well. It is. I don't know the material it's made of or precisely how it's constructed, so it's not exactly the same. But I created my own version with a special material woven into it. Since this is a residential area, we must keep collateral damage to a minimum. And he moves his own restraining bonds so quickly. It makes it difficult to catch him. So, you see, here is my plan. She said as she explained her plan, all the while making the materials for said plan. I bowed out of it, mainly because it's their test, and it's their job to see it to the end. So I jumped onto a nearby rooftop. That had a good view of the action. And here they go. I muttered to myself as the pair walked away with their cloaks. Mr. Aizawa noticed them and launched his capture scarf at them, however he snagged the mannequins they made and not them, so 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗛𝗃 reached back and launched the catapult at Mr. Aizawa. Todoroki used his flames to activate the scarf's woven material 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗛𝗃 mentioned earlier. The scarf encircled Mr. Aizawa, rendering him immobile. Slap on the 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃 and it's game set and match. A little sloppy, but I'd say she's out of her slump. I said to myself as I jumped to catch up with them, good job you two. I said while ruffling their hair. It was strong to do since they were taller than me, stupid 5 feet 5 inches height. It was thanks to you that this all happened. 𝗳𝗍𝗧𝗟𝗘 said. Heck no, you did it. And because of it. I said as I pulled out my phone. I will go out there and kick 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗧𝗏's butt. I now have something to show everyone. Everyone will flip their lids when they hear you swear. I said with a smirk. Delete that immediately. She exclaimed while trying to grab my phone, but my speed is second to no one. But we got to document this for the ages. Oh, and that reminds me. I said before walking up to Todoroki. Whack OW. Todoroki yelled, clutching his cheek. I slapped her earlier, and what you did kinda caused all of this. So I slapped you. Fair is fair after all. I said with a smirk before looking at Mr. Aizawa. So, question. Why didn't you storm the base to capture us? Nothing was stopping you. I asked. I knew the answer, but I wanted to hear him say it. I didn't know if you had laid traps there, so I played it safe and waited for you two to leave. He said. Okay, sure, you big 𝗧𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗃. Finish that sentence, and you will be sentenced to summer camp from hell, the 9th level. He threatened. I didn't commit treachery. I exclaimed. Shouldn't you be getting to the next match? Todoroki asked. You right. See you later. I said before speeding off. 4/10. Almost halfway there. How did you two even accomplish this? I asked as I watched Uraraka and Aoyama hold on to the bar for dear life while 13 was using their quirk. I don't know, just help us. Uraraka exclaimed. Come on, just figure out a plan. I can't really do much to help you. I said. I mean, it's true. I can't attack because I'll get DQ'd. I can pull them up, but I'll be into the black hole. 13 will probably hold back, but I can't leave that to chance. So I'll just have to let them work for it. Wait, idea. Hey, Uraraka, listen to this. I said as I pulled out my phone. I will go out there and kick 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗧𝗏's butt. Pfft. Wait, she exclaimed before falling towards 13. 𝗬𝗧𝗏 hesitated. Checkmate, and another video opportunity. Uraraka used her gunhead martial arts against 13, slamming them onto the ground, all the while Aoyama surged in and grabbed their other arm. All the while Uraraka slapped the 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃s on them. I figured you would hold back. You may be a villain, but you're still a teacher. Sorry, but I needed to pass. I said with a smile. Then Uraraka glared at me. What the heck was that for? She exclaimed. Okay, look. I'm sorry I threw you into the lion's den. But I couldn't do it. Or else I'll get disqualified, and I couldn't give you a winning plan. So I danced around the rules. I said. You're lucky that worked out. Uraraka muttered, but did 𝗳𝗍𝗧𝗟 really swear? Oh heck yeah. I was giving her a pep talk, and she said that. It was awesome. Oh, that's so going in the highlight reel. I said before glancing at the three of them. Well, you three are done. Time for the next one. I said before walking off. 5 out of 10. I'm halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer, moisturizing hair, Gandalf at the fair, and all that jazz. Well, it's time to deal with the other 5 rounds. Oh, this will be a pain in my butt. Okay, so, what do you want to do? Ashido asked Kaminari while we were running towards the exit. Let's just run. Even if he does find us, he's tiny. I can take care of him with my electricity. Maybe you shouldn't even use your power. It might look bad if you melt the principal. Kaminari commented. I know, right? Ashido asked. Okay, I can't take this anymore. Wham whack ow. They both yelled. You're both stupid. I muttered, do you really think it's going to be that bang bang, shoot, he's on the move? I said. They both exclaimed as things started to fall behind us. The three of us began running away from the debris. Interesting, I'm almost certain. While we're running, he's sealing off our exits, though he's not that cruel, so he'll probably leave one just to kick us in the teeth. However, the carnage has ended for now. Kaminari, can't you just zap him or something? Ishido asked. I have no idea where he's hiding, and I don't want to waste all my shots yet. Want me to end up brain dead? He asked. Okay, you two use your antimatter you call brains and think. He's destroying parts of the land, but can't be where the destruction is because he's small and frail. What could he be doing? I asked if talking in riddles and enough to give them a clue, then so be it. I don't know. Explosives? Kaminari asked. Think industrial. I yelled back. A wrecking ball. Ishido said. Give the kid a medal. We need to find the wrecking ball Principal Nizu is in and capture him. I said. But how? Kaminari asked. By using up one of my freebies. I said as I squatted down, hop on. They climbed onto my shoulder as I jumped into the air. By pure bull luck, I'm sailing in the direction of the wrecking ball. Kaminari, you know what to do, right? Hell yeah. He responded as we are getting closer and closer. All right. Kaminari yelled as he kicked off my back and grabbed onto the wrecking ball, sending electricity through it, shorting out the crane and leaving Principal Nizu helpless. We climbed up the wrecking ball and saw Principal Nizu, sipping his cup of tea. Excellent job, you three. You have defeated me. He said as Kaminari used the HNDCFFS on him. However, you are down to one more free use of your quirk, Mr. Midoriya. I know, I'll use it wisely or not at all. I said, though with All Might that would be difficult, but still, the hardest one in terms of not losing my mind is officially over, and it wasn't that bad now that I think about it. Well, you two have fun figuring out how to get out of here. I have somewhere else to be. I said as I stepped out of the wrecking ball and sailed off. I could hear, hey. Come back, off in the distance. They could figure it out. 6 out of 10, and so far with not as much hiccups as I expected, but these next 3 will be strong than the Big Bang. Bikugu, Minoma, and I against All Might. I can't lay a finger on him, so it's Bikugu and Minoma against All Might. Help me, let's avoid combat with Present Mic and head straight for the escape gate. Sound good? Jiraiya asked as 𝗧𝗧 nodded his head. While not a bad plan, I can almost guarantee that Present Mic is at the exit already. Considering he can attack at a range with his stupidly loud voice, he could just chill at the gate. Yee! Gah! I exclaimed as all 3 of us covered our ears. So loud! Jiraiya muttered before looking at 𝗧𝗧. You can control animals with your quirk, can't you? He nodded his head. Okay, get some birds to attack him or something. 𝗧𝗧 waved his hands around. Well, thank goodness I read a book on JSL, so I have a faint idea as to what he's saying. Something, Present Mic's voice, something, animals run away. I recited. Sorry, my JSL is very slim. But I get what he's saying. The animals are scared of Present Mic's loud voice, so that won't be much help in this scenario. His shouts make me feel like my eardrums are gonna burst. He's not just better than I thought he'd be. He's like a super-powered death amp. A speaker of doom. She said before we continued running towards the exit. There's no way we can get close to him. And even if we could, he'd probably see us coming. I bet he's just standing at the gate waiting for us. Come out. I'm getting bored. I don't think I can take it anymore. Jiraiya exclaimed because of her quirk. Her hearing is more sensitive than 𝗧𝗧 and I's. This is a bad matchup for her. Why did I do this? Hurry up already. Then the shouting stopped. Any more of this and we might go deaf. What now? Jiraiya asked, then she looked at the rock. Hey 𝗧𝗧. You control bugs and stuff, right? Look at this. An ally. 𝗬𝗂𝗍 paled and shrieked. 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗛𝗡 held out the ant to him again, he then ran away. So he doesn't like bugs. She muttered. There you are. 𝗵𝗃𝗃 yelled. 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗛𝗡 used her jacks to try and cancel out 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗁. It wasn't much, but it was something. Do you have a plan, 𝗬𝗂𝗧𝗏? 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗛 asked, but 𝗬𝗂𝗧 shook his head. What about you, 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗁? Even if I did, I couldn't tell you. I said while picking at my ears. Let's make some noise. I'm half tempted to just distract 𝗵𝗃𝗃, bite the bullet and let them pass, but no. This is their fight. 𝗬𝗂𝗧𝗏. Just tell me if it's possible for you to control bugs or not, okay? 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗛 asked. 𝗬𝗂𝗧 gave a thumbs up. Good. She said as she shattered the boulder with her jacks, revealing a bunch of bugs. 𝗬𝗂𝗧 shrieked in fear, I know it's scary 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗁. Our opponent is way too strong. This is the only thing I can think of. She exclaimed, if you can pull it off, we still have a chance. You can do it. You want to be a hero, don't you? If so, then we gotta pass. I don't need to step in. Even if my ears are dying. 𝗬𝗂𝗧𝗏, after getting over his internal dilemma, rushed over to the bugs and squatted down. Go on, tiny ones, hear my call. Now is the time for you to take out the man who's responsible for all this terrible noise. You can talk. 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗛 and I asked. It took a minute, but we can hear 𝗵𝗃𝗃 shriek in fear. The bugs got to him. 𝗬𝗂𝗧𝗏 carried 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗛 towards the exit. Not bad, and to think I was contemplating running far away and taking 𝗵𝗃𝗃's throat blasts to the face. But thankfully I didn't need to. I said while patting 𝗬𝗂𝗧's shoulder, good job there. He smiled and nodded. Oh, there's 𝗵𝗃𝗃 and the army of bugs coating his leg. I swiftly took a picture for blackmail purposes. I don't see what the problem is, though. I think bugs are cool. I said as I let a snail climb onto my hand. I smiled before setting them onto the ground so they can live out the rest of their snail days. Well, my ears are ringing, and I can't stop by recovery girl. Looks like I'll have to deal with it for the next 3 matches. Bang bang bang, shoji. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗁. At this rate, we'll be trapped here forever. 𝗳𝗃𝗃𝗁 exclaimed. Don't worry. He's only one man. Still, escaping this will be a Heraclean task. The only advantage is that our opponent's movements are slowed because of those weights. 𝗳𝗏𝗧𝗛 said, before 𝗧𝗵𝗃𝗲 tossed out a smoke grenade. A smoke bomb. He's trying to blind us. But at least it's going to affect his vision at the same time. Shoji muttered. I can still sense your presence here. 𝗧𝗵𝗃 said as he was still firing off shots. Shoji and I bolted once the pillar crumbled after being shot at so many times. 𝗳𝗃𝗃𝗁 was gone, using her stealth ops to their advantage. Shoji must have noticed as well because he rushed out towards 𝗧𝗵𝗃𝗁, stealing off of 𝗧𝗵𝗃's attention. I ran behind him and followed him towards 𝗧𝗵𝗃. Shoji was held at gunpoint. However, I saw a floating pair of HNDCFFs zoom towards 𝗧𝗵𝗃. There, I got him. My perfect video moment senses are tingling. I pulled out my phone and started recording at the perfect time. 𝗳𝗃𝗃𝗁 pulled on the cuffs, causing 𝗧𝗵𝗃's elbow to brush against her breast. An awkward moment ensued before 𝗳𝗃𝗃𝗁 got mad. Mr. 𝗧𝗵𝗃, you pervert! 𝗳𝗃𝗃𝗁 yelled. It was an accident. I couldn't see ya. I didn't do it on purpose. I promise. Forgive me. I wouldn't. 𝗵𝗃𝗁, are you recording this? 𝗧𝗵𝗃 yelled. Heck yeah. This is going in the highlight reel. I said. Bang, he shot his gun at my phone, but I pulled it away in time. Nice try. I said, waving my phone around. 9 shots, 9 misses, you're really not good at this, are you? Dang nabbit. Give it here. He yelled. Nope, sorry. Gotta go, bye. I exclaimed before running off. One more before the final mission. Let's do this. Look out. You can't get too close to her. 𝗧𝗏 yelled, taping 𝗵𝗃𝗃 and sending him away, before Midnight opened his mask and filled his nostrils with her quirk, 𝗬𝗵𝗲. 𝗧𝗏 quickly fell asleep, causing him to fall onto her lap. "Hold on, time out," I said before holding out my phone and got ready to take a picture. Midnight noticed and posed above him. "More blackmail." "Okay, time in," I yelled as zoomed over to grab 𝗧𝗏 and get him out of here. "Why?" Midnight yelled. "2 freebies." I yelled back, but that means I'm out of freebies. So I'll have to fight All Might without my quirk or I'm done for. In retrospect, I should have abandoned 𝗧𝗏. I rushed 𝗧𝗏 back to where 𝗵𝗃𝗃 landed. Once there I laid him down and tried to wake him up. 𝗧𝗏. 𝗧𝗏. Wake up, you idiot. *whack. *ow. He exclaimed, gripping his face. "Good, that's what you get for not thinking ahead." I muttered, "Geez, you made me use my last freebie on you. Oh my gosh, 𝗵𝗃𝗃, what's with your eyes?" I exclaimed as he frantically wiping the BLD out of his eyes. Was he that jealous? Did you know that in Dante's 9 Circles of Hell, those who are infatuated with lust have to deal with storming winds with no rest? I asked. "And no," 𝗵𝗃𝗃 muttered. "Well, now you do. Now in my version, lust is level 9. So focus on the freaking mission," I yelled before slapping the both of them. Gosh, I just one more team. Just one more team like Ida's, Gyru's, and Tsu's team. Is that too much to ask for? Team with an actual plans and not just rushing in there like blind idiots. I muttered. "There you all are," Midnight said as she brandished her WHP. "Hey 𝗧𝗏, a riddle. What's white, sticky, and can save us in this scenario?" "Oh, I can think of one," Midnight said. "I'm sorry, is your name 𝗧𝗏?" "No. Didn't think so," I said before looking at him. His eyes widened in realization as he made 3 strips of tape for us and placed his over his mouth. I smiled and nodded. It's not giving him the answers if he figures out what we need this for, I said as I placed mine over my mouth, as did 𝗵𝗃𝗃. "Interesting plan. But do you really think you can fight me in a state of suffocation?" Midnight asked as she flicked her WHP at us. I didn't even need to tell 𝗵𝗃𝗃 what to do. He instantly used his quirk to trap Midnight's WHP on the ground and bind her hands to it by throwing a ball at the handle. She couldn't let go, or pull out her WHP. She couldn't stop us from escaping. All 3 of us escaped. Once we were out the gate, I pulled off the tape and breathed in some air. Not bad, took a bit of work on my end. But not bad, and I have more blackmail, I said as I flashed 𝗧𝗏 the picture. He and 𝗵𝗃𝗃 looked mad for completely different reasons. And that's my cue to jet. This is the final match. Let's see how much of a disadvantage I'm at. I used up all of my freebies. So if I use my quirk, I'll fail. I can't hit All Might with my quirk or I'll fail. While I could in terms of loopholes, can attack All Might without my quirk, that won't do much of anything. And above all else, I can't leave, or else I'll, you guessed it, fail. So in order for me to pass, I need either Bikugu or 𝗵𝗃𝗃 to escape. And knowing Bikugu's longing to be the best, he'll want to fight All Might, and 𝗵𝗃𝗃 would probably run, but with All Might's speed he could just catch up to him and take him down instantly. Man, why do I have to deal with strong and difficult scenarios? Well, I've come this far. I can't fail now. About time, you DMN nerd, Bikugu said. Good to see you too. So do you two have a plan? I asked. We fight, Bikugu said. We run, 𝗵𝗃𝗃 said. How did I guess this? Actually, it wasn't that strong to figure out. However, something I didn't guess was Mr. Aizawa's voice over the intercom. A slight rule change by the request of All Might. He started, Midoriya is allowed to use his quirk to fight. But he must wear his weights. Fwoosh fwoosh, deal. I said, putting them on. I've been doing nothing this whole time, and the only time I did do something was slapping people. However, the other rules apply. Using your quirk to transport your classmates, and you escaping is still prohibited. He explained. I already went through my freebies. I informed 𝗵𝗃𝗲 and 𝗵𝘃𝗲. But we can still fight. 𝗵𝘃𝗲 said, making mini explosions in his hands. No, we have to run. We can't beat 𝗬𝗵𝗃. You know, there's a word out there, it's on the tip of my tongue. Starts with a C, ends with an E. A synonym for agreement. Compromise. 𝗵𝗃𝗲 asked. Yes, morons. You two want to do two different things. So compromise. I said as I pointed at 𝗵𝘃𝗲, you want to fight. I then pointed at 𝗵𝗃𝗲, you want to run. So what should you two do? Fight. 𝗵𝘃𝗲 said. Run. 𝗵𝗃𝗲 added. So with that in mind, what's your plan? I asked. I'll go around the battle zone. All the while you and 𝗵𝘃𝗲 will fight off 𝗬𝗵𝗃. He should notice me not being there, but he would be too focused on you two that it won't matter. 𝗵𝗃𝗲 said, your thoughts. So long I get to fight 𝗬𝗵𝗃, I'm all for it. 𝗵𝘃𝗲 said with a sadistic smirk. We're so doomed. We entered the battle stage. Once we did, 𝗵𝗃𝗲 took off to the right, hoping to go around the perimeter of the battle area. All the while 𝗵𝘃𝗲 and I began walking towards the center, towards 𝗬𝗵𝗃. You made sure to give him your power in case 𝗬𝗵𝗃 finds him first, right? I asked. I felt him tap my shoulder. He's fine. 𝗵𝘃𝗲 said. Good now _. I looked in front of me and saw a giant wave of dust and debris. It was too fast and too sudden, I couldn't brace for the sudden impact, as 𝗵𝘃𝗲 and I flew backwards. Who cares if I destroy a city or capture one of your friends? 𝗬𝗵𝗃 said as I saw him holding onto 𝗵𝗃𝗲. Looks like that plan failed. 𝗬𝗵𝗃 walked out of the dust cloud and slammed his foot onto the ground, causing another shockwave to erupt from him. If you just think of this as an exam and not a real fight, you'll be sorry. I'm a villain now, heroes. Remember that. You'd better come at me with everything you've got. I won't pull my punches. He said. Man, he's so intimidating. I like it. Wait, 𝗵𝗃𝗲's hand. Pretend. I see, interesting. 𝗵𝘃𝗲, change of plans. I muttered. I know, save him, and fight. He said as he got ready. Seems he's none the wiser about 𝗵𝗃𝗲's signal. Works for me. Right. Let's go. I said as I got ready to fight. Here I come, heroes. 𝗬𝗵𝗃 yelled. Get back. 𝗵𝘃𝗲 yelled. I jumped back and 𝗵𝘃𝗲 utilized his stun grenade, enveloping 𝗬𝗵𝗃 in a bright white glow. I'll take him now. I said as I dove into the white light and punched him square in the face. Once he was staggered, I grabbed 𝗵𝗃𝗲 and set him aside. The minute I say +Ultra, get ready to run. I whispered before rejoining the fight. 𝗵𝘃𝗲 sent a blast to 𝗬𝗵𝗃's front, while I kicked him in the back and jumped over him. 𝗵𝗃𝗲's conscious, don't yell it out. I muttered before unleashing a flurry of punches, which 𝗬𝗵𝗃 dodged with ease. Get back, nerd. 𝗵𝘃𝗲 yelled. I nodded and pulled back. 𝗵𝘃𝗲 used one of his gauntlets to blast 𝗬𝗵𝗃, but he jumped out of the way. Is he going to wake up anytime soon? 𝗵𝘃𝗲 asked. The moment I say +Ultra, he'll get up and run. We need to cover for him. I'm sorry, what was that? Gah! I yelled as I jumped out of the way. Well, so much for the element of surprise. +Ultra! I yelled as 𝗵𝗃𝗲 got up and ran towards the exit. 𝗵𝘃𝗲 and I stood in front of 𝗬𝗵𝗃. Time for the second phase. I won't let you. 𝗬𝗵𝗃 yelled as he rushed towards 𝗵𝗃𝗲, but I chased after him and punched him in the side. He blocked and I started unleashing a flurry of punches, not to hurt, but to stall. 𝗵𝘃𝗲 joined in and began attacking as well, but 𝗬𝗵𝗃 is too fast. It seems you haven't noticed, young 𝗵𝗃𝗲. 𝗬𝗵𝗃 said. What? I asked. Those weights are heavier than your normal ones. Combined about 100 kilos heavier. Not enough for you to notice, but enough to slow your movements. 𝗲𝗵𝗃 said as he blocked one of my hits. Then I'll just have to swing faster then. I yelled as I started upping the output of 1 for all. If I can withstand up to 2.1 tons without much repercussion, then I should be able to use 1 for all at 15% without much repercussion. There's a light stinging sensation, but after trudging around in 2-ton weights for a few weeks it helps me get used to 1 for all. Did you get faster? 𝗲𝗵𝗃 asked. Like I said. I answered before punching him in the stomach, I'll just have to swing faster. I glanced towards 𝗵𝗃, he's about halfway to the exit, and 𝗲𝗵𝗃 looks nervous. Sorry boys, but I can't let him just run. 𝗲𝗵𝗃 yelled as he gripped 𝗵𝗃𝗲's forearm and batted me away with 𝗵𝗃𝗲. As I was sent flying into a building, 𝗵𝗃𝗲 was cast aside so 𝗲𝗵𝗃 could chase 𝗵𝗃. 𝗧𝗵𝗃, I exclaimed as I pried myself off the building and rushed towards 𝗲𝗵𝗃. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, get up. I yelled, but he didn't move. Is he out cold? Oh great, I'm stressed out, and when I'm stressed out I swear mom's gonna kill me. No, forget about that now, my life is on the line here. How much time do I have? I kicked 𝗲𝗵𝗃 into a building to check my phone. I set a timer for 30 minutes so I can have a fair estimate as to how much time is left. 5 minutes. 𝗵𝗃𝗲, run. We have 5 minutes left. I yelled. Alright. He said before running towards the exit. Nice try, heroes. 𝗲𝗵𝗃 yelled as he continued rushing towards 𝗵𝗃𝗲. I'm all alone against 𝗲𝗵𝗃 while 𝗵𝗃𝗲 runs. Alone or with a partner makes barely any difference. Let's go, 𝗲𝗵𝗃. I yelled as I rushed towards him. I respect your courage, hero. 𝗲𝗵𝗃 yelled as he turned to face me. I threw a punch, but he read it like a magazine at the dentist. He grabbed my hand and slammed me repeatedly on the ground. Only for him to throw me far from the exit. Shoot, 𝗵𝗃𝗲's all alone and there is no hope for me to make it there in time. I glanced at my phone. 2 minutes. What are my options? If I rush back then I would just be thrown back. 𝗵𝗃𝗲 is nowhere near the exit, and even if he was, 𝗲𝗵𝗃 would just throw him back. I can't step out of the door or I'll fail. I can't defeat 𝗲𝗵𝗃 before the time limit. And 𝗵𝗃𝗲 can't take my power or else he'll 𝗳𝗍𝗧𝗟 his body. So what's the plan here? I only have one option. I looked at 𝗵𝗃𝗲's unconscious body. Sacrifice one, to save the other two. I gripped 𝗵𝗃𝗲's arm and spun him around to build up speed. I just have to time it right now. I let go of 𝗵𝗃𝗲's body and pulled out my phone. 30 seconds left. I rushed after him in case 𝗲𝗵𝗃 would get him, and I want to at least make my sacrifice good for the highlight reel. 𝗵𝗃𝗲 will be a literal rocket. What the hell? 𝗵𝗃𝗲 yelled. Just let it happen. You're sailing for the exit. I yelled while recording this whole thing. Then why the F are you recording it? 𝗵𝗃𝗲 exclaimed. Highlight reel. I yelled back. Oh no, you don't, hero. 𝗲𝗵𝗃 yelled, but I kicked him down onto the ground. There was 2 seconds to spare, as 𝗵𝗃𝗲 sailed out of the door. They passed, but I failed. Well, at that point, a sacrifice needed to be made. I said before walking away. Better if one person failed than 2 people. 𝗵𝗃𝗲 failed. Everyone except Ida, 𝗬𝗧𝗏, 𝗂𝗍𝗓, and 𝗳𝗍𝗧𝗟 exclaimed. Yes, yell it to the heavens, that'll go great for my self-esteem. I muttered while tapping my desk. It was the next day, also known as the last day before summer vacation starts. How? They asked with the same high volume. Before I could answer, Mr. Aizawa entered the room, causing everyone to sit down. Morning. Unfortunately, one of you failed the practical due to infringing on the rules set for that person. What am I, Lord Voldemort? You could just say my name, you know, I muttered. He ignored me, so, when it comes to the training camp in the woods, everyone is going. Mr. Aizawa exclaimed. Should have figured as much, but of course, there's always a catch. I will get to that, but first, allow me to explain the purpose of the practical exam. For the practical battles, the teachers made sure to leave a way for the students to win, even with Midoriya's help. Otherwise you never would have stood a chance. We were interested in observing how you each worked together and approached the task at hand. Mr. Aizawa explained. But didn't you promise that the teachers wouldn't be holding back? Ajaru asked. We've had this man for what? 3 months now, and you haven't caught on to his method of teaching yet. I asked. He was lying to us, in order for us to try harder. I'm glad someone was paying attention. As for the training camp, it will focus on building your strength. We were never going to separate you. He said with a smirk. That was just a logical deception we used. He tricked us all. I should have expected this. Ida muttered, shaking, before shooting up out of his seat. Mr. Aizawa, this is the second time you've lied to us. Aren't you afraid we'll lose faith in you? Ida asked. A little blunt there, Tenya. Uraraka said. That's a good point. I'll consider it. But I wasn't lying about everything. He said. Here comes the catch. I muttered. Failure is failure. As such, we've prepared extra lessons for you specifically. He said, looking at me. Though, considering you and Yaoyorozu got a perfect score on the written exam and the fact that you finished in under an hour just so you can nap, you clearly don't need them. Works for me that way. I don't have to teach you. However, we have other things in mind for you. He said with a smirk that could give any villain nightmares. Awesome. I muttered. Class dismissed. The remaining classes rolled over, and it was after school time. This is going to be great. I'm so glad we're all going together. Ajaru said. Looks like we'll be at the training camp a full week. Ida said. Which reminds me, I need to pick up some things before the trip. For reasons. Man, I don't even have a bathing suit. Kaminari muttered, guess I need to buy some stuff. Like night vision goggles. Mineta said. Whatever for? I asked, glaring at him. You are reasons. He stuttered. It better be for good reasons. I threatened. Guys, since we're off tomorrow and we finally finished exams, I have the best idea. Why doesn't one go shopping together? Hagakure exclaimed. Hey, yeah. We've only hung out like once as a class. Kaminari said. Bakugo. See you there, right? Kirishima asked, but Bakugo just walked away, not saying a word. Probably upset that I failed the final just to save him and Minoma. Like I said. Sacrifices. What about you, Todoroki? Yaoyorozu asked. I visit my mom on days off. He said. You party poopers. Don't you ever get tired of being serious? Mineta asked. Good idea, hold that thought. I said before pulling out my phone. Hey, 𝗧𝗍𝗃. Wanna come to the mall with 1A and I? Oh, sure, can I bring some of the 1B girls? She asked. Hold that thought. I said before looking down at Mineta, you already know what I'm gonna ask. I'll behave. He exclaimed. Good, I said before putting my phone back onto my ear, you're clear to go. Oh man, do I have things I want to show you. Oh, like what? She asked. It's a surprise. But I'm 100% certain you'll love them. I said, a smirk growing on my face. I'll be waiting then. Bye. She said before hanging up. I put my phone away before looking at the others. Oh yeah, 𝗧𝗍𝗃, and some of the 1B girls are coming too. You have absolutely no say in it. Great. Well, gotta get going, see you all later. I said before leaving to home. Oh shoot, I failed the final exam. Mom's going to kill me. You failed. Mom yelled. Well yeah. But it was a sacrifice play. Save my partners by throwing myself into the lion's den. It was a simple math decision. I said. She sighed with annoyance and pinched the bridge of her nose. Did I mention I love you a lot? I asked. Yes, you did. 15 times before you told me you failed your final exam. She yelled. Guess I have to say it 15 more times. I bartered. And you make dinner every day until the training camp rolls around. Mom raised. I can, and I always say I would because you work so dang strong. I argued. Don't get smart with me. She said with her patented mom glare, TM. My one weakness in 𝗵𝗃, their phones are bad. Oh on it. I muttered as I began making dinner. Well, this is what I get for being a good person. It was kinda worth it. That way I won't have to constantly fight my mom to make dinner. I will go out there and beat 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗏's butt. 𝗧𝗵𝗃𝗏, bahahaha. 𝗳𝗃 laughed, as I couldn't help but smile. Yeah, man, I should be a motivational speaker. My words are magic. I said as she continued laughing. Oh wait, look at this one. I said as I played the video of Ida being stuck in the ground. Gahahaha. She laughed as we reached the point where Ida was yelling at me to stop recording this instant. How did you take these videos? She asked. I smuggled my phone into all of my matches. Like heck, I'm going to miss these moments, these are going into the highlight reel. I said. You keep saying that. But what highlight reel? Ashido asked. Oh, the year 1 highlight reel. I have a lot of ammo for it, and it'll be one to remember. I said with a smirk. Ha! With only 5 photos and a few videos. Kaminari asked. He never underestimate me, Kaminari. I said as I waved a flash drive in their faces. What is that? Kirishima asked. Oh, nothing, just a flash drive that contains the videos of your singing assignment with present Mike, I said. Stab, it was a flash drive that contained those videos. Jairu said with a smirk. That's okay, I made copies. I said as I held out another. Like heck, I'll bring my highlight reel videos to this place without a backup plan. But that's not fair. You didn't even participate. Sada said. I did. I was singing in the kitchen while making that gumbo. I aced that assignment, and I bribed Mike with a whole pot of gumbo for the flash drive. I said, so I have a lot of material but none of 1B, I said, man, I should have recorded the magic trick from the smoothie run we did. Oh well. I began scrolling through the pictures. Most laughed, some were embarrassed, and one was trying to destroy my phone rude. Okay, this means war then, 𝗬𝗏𝗏 said as she showed 𝗳𝗃 her phone. TBT, ha 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 ha. She couldn't stop laughing. It was a video of me falling flat on my butt after 𝗬𝗏𝗏 removed the gravity. ET2, 𝗳𝗃. I exclaimed, faking betrayal. But it was funny. You looked so confused. Ahahaha. What is this? Are you godfathering me? Are you taking my cannolis after you kill me? Man, I can go for a cannoli. I muttered. 𝗳𝗃 laughed harder. Why, you derailed your own speech. What? Cannolis are amazing. I joked. You know how to make cannolis? Yaoyorozu asked. I know how to make a lot of things. Cannolis are one of them. In fact, aside from native dishes, Mom loves Italian. I said, before looking out the window. Oh, we're here. We stood in the middle of the Kiyoshi shopping ward, then everyone split off to get their own things. Yaoyorozu left with Kendo to see a new store that opened up, and everyone else did everything else. Leaving only 𝗳𝗃 and I alone. So, what do you need? I asked. Oh, some stuff. What about you? She asked. Oh, I was planning to walk around and yeah, wanna come with? We'll hit up stores along the way if you need stuff. I said as I held out a fat stack of yen. Where did you get all that money from? 𝗳𝗃 asked. Shady business. I said, then waited a few seconds to let it sink in for a bit. No, I'm kidding. But I was saving up for this moment. Okay, that was a lie. All Might gave me money to buy stuff, weird, but I'm not going to decline free money. So, let's roll. 𝗵𝗃 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 asked. Check. I respond. Sleepwear. 7 different sets. Sleeping bag. Own one. The will to live. They have it at half off. She snorted. Where did you draw that comparison? What? If you're shopping at Uniqlo, then you pretty much lost all will to live or at least look decent. He said before looking around. What about manga? I assume it's gonna be a long bus ride. I don't read manga. Video games. Not that either. What do you even do in your spare time? Homework. Study. Read. Like a normal student. We're changing this. Once the training camp is over, we're changing that. 𝗧𝗵𝗃. You heard me. You must bear witness to the wonders of video games. And if you don't like it, I'll eat my patented 𝗬𝗲𝗍𝗺 hat, but don't say you don't like it just to see me eat my hat. I'll know. He said. Ha ha ha. Darn, there goes my MSTR plan. I said with a smile. 𝗵𝗃 looked back for a second. You're being sarcastic, sniff. I'm so proud. 𝗵𝗃 said before pulling me into a hug. I felt my face heat up 1,000,000 degrees. Should I say it? No, get out of here. He whispered. What? I whispered back. You know that guy from the USJ? Shigaraki, the one with the hands. He's here. 𝗵𝗃 whispered. What do we do? I asked. Go call someone, the police, a teacher, anyone. He whispered before pulling back. So can you get those for me? He asked. I took the message. Right, be right back. I said as I walked away. Please be safe. 𝗵𝗃's POV. What brings you here? I asked, turning around to face him. You're sharp. Shigaraki replied. Yeah, and I'm sure you're not here to kill me, at least not anymore now that I know you're here. So give me a reason as to why I shouldn't kick your butt and throw you in the depths of Tartarus. I asked. I need your opinion on something. He said. I was half tempted to punch him. But people are so close to him, even if I rush at him with all I got, he could kill someone. I could strip my weights, but that would give him more time to kill at least one person. Plus I can't use my quirk in public or else I'll go to jail for vigilantism. Stupid law, but a law nonetheless. I'll have to stall him. Maybe get some sort of information out of him subtly. Fine, but you're paying for lunch. How can I help you? The waitress asked as she looked at Shigaraki's face. Oh, don't mind him. Skin condition. Heat makes his skin wrinkle, hence the hoodie. I lied. If he makes a scene, then hell would break loose. Oh, I apologize, sir. What would you like to order? She asked. I'll take a strawberry milkshake. I said, and a bacon double cheeseburger. I'll have a cola. Shigaraki said, and a turkey sandwich. She wrote that down, before taking our menus and walking away. Afterward she returned without beverages. So what do you want to talk about? I asked. I wanted to talk to you about the things you said at the USJ. Shigaraki said. They were 100% honest, by the way. Even if I was stalling for All Might to come. I stated. So in that case, why are you a hero? Shigaraki asked. I'm in it for money. Like I said at the USJ, with Endeavor flashing his quirk around, us common folk have to pay for the destruction. There are few exceptions where the heroes pay for the damages, but that happened once in Mom and I's lifetime. So if I become a hero, I make money and she can live in comfort for the rest of her days. I explained before drinking some of my milkshake. So what about you? Child abandonment. He tensed up. How did you? Well, it was that or psychological torment. I went with the most likely one. I responded. I was alone, but Sensei saved me. Sensei, so he's not the mastermind. Good to know. Sensei gave me hope. Gave me purpose. It's my goal to 𝗳𝗲𝗍𝗔𝗍 society and create my own perfect society. He muttered. Creepy, but I could work with this, so what? What? Shigaraki asked. You need a plan to do anything. I said this could either go great, or terribly, I need to tread lightly. Unless you plan to 𝗳𝗲𝗍 everything that opposes you, which would end with no one else alive. I don't have a plan. Shigaraki said. I don't know if it's a good great or a bad great. It's good because he doesn't have a plan yet. Bad, because I don't have any info. I have a question. He said. Shoot. I replied. What's driving you? What's your conviction? Shigaraki asked. My mom, my friends, a lot of things. I said vague answers, perfect. I see now. He said. Wait, see what? I asked. I get it now why I haven't accomplished anything yet. Friends. I need allies, powerful allies. He exclaimed while standing up. If I want to make this society crumble to the ground, if I want to kill All Might to show the world that they won't function without their 𝗵𝗃𝗲 as symbol, I need allies. Oh, I'm so glad we had this conversation. He said as a portal appeared right behind him, but I must be going. I yelled, but it was too late. He was gone. I punched the table. He left. I didn't get any info out of it, aside from this sensei figure. He got inspired out of my talk, and worst of all, he left me with the 𝗵𝗃𝗲. I muttered as I looked at the shaking waitress. Sigh, I'll take that to go please. Midoriya. Itake yelled as I walked up to her. The police are here, where's Shigaraki? She asked. Gone, the warp villain, Kurojiri, got him. I talked with him, but nothing much came out of it. I said it was a white lie. I don't want to just drop the bombshell that Shigaraki isn't the mastermind behind the league. The police and detectives at the scene questioned everyone. I was taken to the station with All Might in his skinny form for further questioning. I told them everything about the talk Shigaraki and I had. He said what? All Might asked. He has a sensei. Says he picked him up while he was abandoned. He's a lot of things, but as far as I know, a liar isn't one of them. So there's someone behind the league, and I don't like that. I said I saw All Might tense up. What? I asked. What? All Might asked. Don't what me? I saw you tense up. You're hiding something from me. I said. Alright, I'll explain. Tsukachi, could you step out for a moment? All Might asked. Tsukachi took the hint and stepped out. Why can't he stick around? I asked. He already knows about this, but doesn't like to hear things like this twice. All Might explained, anyway, as much as I would like to discuss this behind closed doors, I must explain this. Explain what? I asked. The history of One for All. The history of One for All. I asked. Yes. All Might started, I should start with where One for All came from. It originated from another quirk altogether. All for One. Why am I not surprised? I muttered. All for One, as the name implies, allows the user to steal and give away quirks, should they longing. All Might explained. So, everything was there. Ripe for the taking. With that kind of power they could rule the world. I stated. This all started during the advent of the exceptional. A time when society still hadn't managed to adapt to the changes. All Might started, back then the norms of what it meant to be a human suddenly collapsed, and with that laws became meaningless. Societal progress halted. It was catastrophic. I feel like I said this before, but I'm saying it again. Without the advent of the extraordinary, humanity would be enjoying interplanetary travel by now. That quote seems to fit in this scenario. Correct, and in that age of confusion of disorder, one man took the initiative and brought people together. You might have heard about this. 𝗷𝗵𝗃 said. He would steal quirks from other people and with his overwhelming power spread the influence of his organization. He was responsible for manipulating so many others into committing such wicked acts, which was his intent. Before long, he had taken over Japan. A true lord of evil. I've read rumors online when I was bored, but I couldn't find anything of the sort in any history textbook. Then again, it would make sense why they wouldn't put the biggest travesty in Japan's history since Hiroshima and Nagasaki in the textbook. I said. Correct. When a person has power, they instinctively seek a way to use it. 𝗷𝗵𝗃 said. You mentioned that all for one, can give away quirks. I asked. Yes, with that power he could instill trust in others or get them to submit. However, the load was too much to bear for those who received it. Many would end up becoming mere puppets, unable to speak. Like a 𝗵𝗄. 𝗷𝗵𝗃 explained, however, there was one case where his granting of a quirk resulted in a mutation. A blending. The man had a quirkless younger brother. This brother was small and fragile, but he had a strong sense of justice. And the deeds of his big brother pained him, so he opposed the tyrant. But the elder brother gave the younger brother a 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘 quirk by force. To this day we don't know whether or not it was out of kindness or if it was to force the brother to submit. 𝗷𝗵𝗃 explained. But that power turned into all for 𝗳𝗍𝗵𝗃, turned into one for all. I'm going to just call it the good quirk. I said. 𝗷𝗵𝗃 chuckled, whatever works for you. Anyway, you are correct. The younger brother actually had a quirk all along. A quirk that allowed him to pass down his quirk to others. That quirk along with the 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗟𝗘 quirk were fused. That's how one for all came to be. He said, extending his arms with gusto before putting them back down. An ironic tale, no. Justice is always born from evil. So this man. He could take whatever quirk he wants, right? If this is the same guy that is the mastermind of the League of Villains, then does that mean he has stolen a quirk that makes him live forever? I asked. Yes. With his near immortality, and his indefatigable strength, as well as the state of society at the time, his defeated younger brother passed the mission to future generations. Though it was a shadow of what it is today, the power grew and grew. All in the hope that it could one day stop the older brother, he explained. Then it hit me. You're wound. Does that mean? I asked as he nodded. I'm glad you've been paying attention. It was my generation that brought him down. At least that's what I thought. He survived, and he's on the move again as the brains of the League of Villains. One for all is a power that's inherited for the sole purpose of beating all for one. Which means that someday you will fact that ultimate evil perhaps. 𝗷𝗵𝗃 finished. I realize that this got a bit dark -- well, that simplifies things. I said. What? 𝗷𝗵𝗃 asked. We know what to do now. You and I need to beat this one for 𝗳𝗍𝗵𝗃. The evil quirk's butt and win. With you and I fighting him, we'll take him down easy. I said. I'm glad. He said with his trademark smile. So any other secrets I should know about? This guy's weakness? Any sort of info on the League? Your credit card information? I asked while holding out his credit card. I'll never get used to you doing that. How did you even get that? We were sitting the whole time. 𝗷𝗵𝗃 asked. I laughed and handed it back to him. I'm glad. I'm going to run that 𝗔𝗂𝗁 to the ground. As for how I did it, it was when you got up to sit in front of me. Okay, why did you learn that? 𝗷𝗵𝗃 asked. Look, there were times where Mom and I needed a few thousand yen to make ends meet. So I pickpocketed some people and passed it off as a bonus. Don't tell Mom. I pleaded. It was then that I heard the voice of my fears. She already knows. Mom said as she opened the door, revealing an angry face. Mom, how are you this fine evening? I asked with a smile, but her face didn't waver at all. I looked at 𝗷𝗵𝗃, who shrugged. Don't look at me. I'm blameless in this situation. 𝗷𝗵𝗃 said, but how much of this conversation have you heard? The part where I learned my son was a thief. She yelled as I backed up. It was for the greater good. Ow, I muttered as I rubbed my sore cheek. I faced a face slap, and a long lecture about the ethics of honesty, and my dinner debt was extended to this week and the training camp as well. No, really. Mom called Mr. Aizawa and he said that I would be forced to cook for everyone in the training camp. Yeah, well, joke's on them. I was planning to cook there anyway, and now I don't have to break into the kitchen now. 𝗧𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏. Anyway, that bombshell was dropped, but nothing changed. I know my mission, 𝗵𝗃𝗏 got it right this time. But I feel like I was supposed to do something right. I pulled out my phone and pulled out the 1A group chat. Hey guys, a question. KBFU, nerd. Okay, guys excluding 𝗵𝗃𝗬, I have a question. 𝗧𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗧. I'm glad you are alright. What's your question, 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏? So I've been having this problem. FT, what a mad banquet of darkness. Exactly. Whenever I see 𝗳𝗃𝗁 smile, and hear her laugh, my heart beats really fast, faster than when I'm exercising. Am I having a slide or something? Everyone sent was doing really necessary. My 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏, I believe that is a crush. So that's what a crush feels like. Are you serious? Pretty much, every girl in from my past school was a complete jerk. And I wouldn't classify any of you as crush material. Except 𝗃𝗃𝗁, he's the best one. KK, smiley face. C. Case in point. Wow. I'll pretend to not be offended. Rib bit. Well Tsu, if it makes you feel any better, I'd say you're one of the best in 1A, tied with 𝗃𝗃𝗁. Mimi. KJ, FU. You're welcome. Am I not pretty? You're drop dead gorgeous. Really? I wouldn't have said it if it wasn't true. That, and I don't want to crush her self-esteem after I busted my butt building it back up. Thank you. You're welcome. Anyway, going off on a tangent. I have a crush on 𝗳𝗃𝗁, what do I do? Well, I don't know, we would help you since we're not crush material. I can ask Kendo for advice. We'll help you. We need some romance action. It's romance. Shush. Toru, it's time for plan Operation Delta Alpha Tango Echo. That's literally Operation DTE. I know a slide of genius if I do say so myself. I'm on it. I have our shades and everything. Okay, I can sense this ending in failure, so I'll just ask Kendo. Anyway, I'm recovering from the slap Mom gave me. So bye. Hold the frick up. Your mom slapped you. Yeah. Well, what happened? She found out something bad. I see, go on. She found out how I managed to get us the remaining amount we need to meet ends meet. Drags. Gambling. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗃𝗃𝗁. KB, assassination. Has to be. No, tried and failed, EW, and I would be in jail. No, I was and still am a MSTR pickpocketer. DK, nanny. HS, what? ST, that explains so much. OU, Todoroki. ST, what? He stole Endeavor's and Best Jeanist's credit cards as a joke. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. And I'm paying for it in spades. meet your chef for the training camp. Everyone did again. Then everyone said, what? With varying degrees of exclamation marks and capitalization. Yeah, Mom pulled the 𝗧𝗵𝗲 card, and that's added to my punishment of failing the practical exams. But how could we trust you later? 𝗳𝗲𝗵𝗲. You're loaded and I didn't take your money. I may be a jerk, but I wouldn't steal from family and friends. I have a moral code. Honor among thieves and all that. Plus it makes for a great party trick and paying for pizza. However, I do find some pretty interesting things. Like in 𝗵𝗃𝗲's bag. You were kicked from the chat by Minoru 𝗵𝗃𝗲. Awesome. I was added back in a few seconds after. Rude. Have you heard of the bro code? One does not talk about a dude's personal belongings. I would if I wasn't an only child. Or cared enough. Anyway, this is getting nowhere. I'm going to talk to Kendu. Good night. I bailed from the chat, then turned to Kendu and I's chat. I have a dilemma. Does it have to do with Kinoko? Alright, who spilled? No one. It was pretty obvious you have feelings for her. So I assume you're here for advice. Yes. Help me. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. That nickname is sticking, no amount of giant hand punches will change that. I kinda like it, so it's fine. As for your advice, just grow a pair and tell her how you feel. I'd recommend the training camp at night. Moonlight confessions are kinda her weakness. In a few weeks ago we watched a terrible romance movie. Everyone but Kinoko, Setsuna and I fell asleep. Setsuna and I were bored out of our minds, but Kinoko was enthralled by the movie, and cried during the moonlight confession part of it. Hell, she said she wanted to be confessed to under the moonlight, with the bright stars out. Seems simple enough. Hey, good luck. She talks about you all the time. As their appointed big sister, I approve of this. If you're the sis, I hate to meet the dad. Trust me, you don't want to meet him. Please, for the love of gosh, don't tell me it's Vlad King. Good luck, this is the test of your commitment. She left the chat before I could ask any more questions. Well, this just got slightly harder. Bring it on. We had an emergency meeting the next day. It was about Shigaraki and the Kyoshi ward incident. And we've had to cancel our previous accommodations at the last minute. We won't reveal our actual destination until the day we depart. Mr. Aizawa said, as everyone started commenting on that. You should have took his butt out. Bakugo said to me. Well, sorry, jail wasn't exactly enticing at the moment. However, I learned some stuff. I said. Care to elaborate? Mr. Aizawa asked. I can't say. Need to know basis, and happen to come across that information basis. I said. Everyone looked dissatisfied, but it's not like I could spill the beans. At least not yet anyway. After that, we had an end of the semester ceremony and we were released for the week of downtime we had before training camp. Ding dong ding dong ding dong, why does the universe hate me? I just came back from my mini vacation to I-Island and all I wanted was a few more hours rest from the thrashing I took, and this happens. Visitors. I'm freaking coming. I yelled as I stomped over to the door and opened it, revealing Kaminari and 𝗵𝗃𝗲, smiling suspiciously. Okay, I'll bite. Why are you two smiling? We got permission to use the pool, for endurance training. Wanna come with? Kaminari asked. You just want to see the girls in bathing suits, don't you? I asked. What? PSSH, of course no dash, Kaminari said before I tapped his forehead. Don't lie to me. I said with a hint of anger. We were. 𝗵𝗃𝗲 yelled, which earned him a look of shock from Kaminari. Dude! Kaminari exclaimed. I am sorry, but he's terrifying when upset. He whimpered. As I should be. I said before pulling out my phone. What are you doing? 𝗵𝗃 asked. Just asked 𝗳𝗂 to tell everyone about this. It is an endurance training, right? I asked, pumping up the intimidation factor in my glare. Why, yes it is. 𝗵𝗃 exclaimed. That's what I thought. I said as I texted 𝗳𝗂 about this. Now let's get going. We arrived at the pool. The girls, like 𝗵𝗃 admitted to, were there in their school swimsuits stretching. All the while 𝗳𝗂 and the guys are there limbering up. Once I arrived I was bombarded with questions. What am I? A celebrity. Why are you wearing a shirt to swim 𝗵𝗃? Why do you have your weights? Why are you even here? All valid questions really. I prefer them. It's for my endurance training, and I don't have an answer to that question. Why am I here when I could be sleeping after carrying all of you during what happened a few days ago? I answered, I did a lot. 𝗵𝗃𝗲 yelled. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. I said, now if you'll excuse me to the 𝗵𝗃. I said before walking over the pool's edge. Splash I sank like a rock to the bottom of the 10-foot pool. Got me some time to reflect, something wrapped around my waist, and it was pulling me up. We got him. 𝗵𝗃. What's the matter with you? Kirishima asked. I was fine. I said as I climbed back out. It's not like I couldn't take these off easily. These was just so I could sit at the bottom of the pool without any extraneous effort. I said. Oh, Kirishima muttered. It's fine. Now this time for real. Back to the 𝗵𝗃. I said before jumping back down to the bottom of the pool. Now back to reflecting. The training camp is coming soon, a few days actually. I still don't know what my punishment is aside from cooking for everyone for the duration of the camp. Oh, and that's a good time to talk to 𝗳𝗃. What did Kenda say? Moonlight confessions seems simple enough, but that sounds too 𝗧𝗍. I felt someone tap my shoulder. It was 𝗧𝗍, who pointed upwards. Oh fine. I took off my weights and kicked back up to the surface. What now? I asked. Oh, it's just that we wanted to know if you were alright. You were down there for 9 minutes. She said. 5 minutes already. Dang, it felt like a minute to me. Anyway, I'm fine, I know my limit now. I'm going back to internally monologuing. I said before diving back down, my weights back on. Now where was I? Oh right, 𝗳𝗃. Moonlight confessions seems too simple, and this needs to be perfect. Nothing too big so it would overwhelm her, but nothing too small. I could bust that thing out again. Yeah, that could work. I sat there for a few more minutes. Yeah, I think now is a good time to get out. I kicked out of the water and landed back onto the ground. What did I miss? Everyone was. How long was I down there? I asked. 9 to 9 minutes from the last time, then 9 minutes now. 𝗧𝗍 answered. I improved by 10 seconds, not bad. I said before stretching out. Well, I might as well join you. A few more hours pass, and everyone else was tired. Par from the course really. It was then that 𝗵𝗃𝗲 suggested that the boys participate in races. I'm good. I said. Why the F not? 𝗵𝗃𝗲 asked. Because I would win, plain and simple. I said. Yeah, fair, I would like a chance to win. 𝗵𝗃𝗃 said. I nodded and sat back to watch. 𝗵𝗃𝗲 sailed over the pool to win his set. Todoroki used his ice to win his set. 𝗳𝗂 used his 𝗧𝗔𝗧𝗏 to win his set. The final match was 𝗳𝗂 versus 𝗵𝗃𝗲 versus Todoroki. The girls got out of the pool to watch and cheer for their favorites to win. The three stood at the ready as Yaoyorozu started the race. Only for the three of them to face-plant into the water. It's 5 o'clock, pool's closed. Mr. Aizawa said. Crystal. I said as I headed towards the lockers. What, no comment? Mina asked. I'm already up to my eyeballs in punishments. The last thing I want is to push 𝗧𝗃 so far that he has to get creative. I said. That's correct. The smartest thing you ever said. Mr. 𝗧𝗃 commented. The smartest. Really? After I figured out the 𝗧𝗃𝗁𝗔𝗂𝗁𝗔 quirk, figured out the practical exam, created the pairings that you used, and that's the smartest thing I've ever said. I asked. You're pushing it. Mr. 𝗧𝗃 said. Alright, time to wash the chlorine off. I exclaimed, speeding into the locker rooms. After a hasty shower, I put on my clothes and sped on home. Once I made it home, I finished off packing my stuff for the training camp that I promptly procrastinated with. Once that finished, I set my suitcase aside and laid on my reinforced bed. Tomorrow's the day. The day of the week-long training camp. I'm excited and also scared. 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏, you failed. 𝗳𝗏𝗃𝗁𝗥 asked. Okay, right, I never told you. Yeah, it was a matter of save my own skin or help idiot A and idiot B pass. I said, pointing at 𝗵𝗃𝗲 and 𝗵𝗃𝗲, so I did my valiant sacrifice for the lives of others. We would have passed without you. 𝗵𝗃𝗲 yelled. You were literally knocked out. 𝗵𝗃𝗲 was running from All Might, and we had 30 seconds left. But that doesn't matter, I failed. But the extra lessons won't help me, so to not waste Mr. 𝗧𝗃𝗁's time, he is going to give me a punishment. Which is? I asked, looking at him. Oh, that, right. You won't be riding with us. The buses won't support your 3 tons of weight. Mr. 𝗧𝗃𝗁 said. So I have to run to the location? I asked. Exactly. Mr. 𝗧𝗃𝗁 said, before handing me a slip of paper. Izuku Midoriya is hereby granted to use his quirk to run to summer camp. Yes, I mean it. Shota Aizawa, K. A Eraserhead. P.S. While you can call me for confirmation, I would appreciate it if you didn't. I read out loud as I leaned closer to 𝗳𝗏𝗃𝗁. I expected something worse. I whispered. You probably shouldn't say that. 𝗳𝗏𝗃𝗁 whispered. You're right. I said before walking over to Mr. 𝗧𝗃𝗁. He gave me the location of the camp. All I have to do is run there. Sounds easy enough. Welp, see you guys there. I said. Hold on, young 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗁. A familiar deep voice called out. I turned to see All Might, who held out a wrapped box. Think of it as a really late birthday gift. It said, open in case of emergencies. I took it and only 2 seconds passed before everyone was up in arms. Your birthday passed. Everyone exclaimed. It was during my trip to Island. Cut me some slack. I said before getting ready. This time for real. Theoretically I could make it there in about 5 minutes, but everyone else will be there in about an hour given the bus speed and overall distance of the camp from you, A. I also started way before everyone else. So doing the math, I have about 50 minutes of free times until I'm supposed to get there, assuming I should arrive there with everyone. I muttered to myself as I reached the junction where the left leads to the way I'm supposed to go, or the right which leads to the town, and you can guess which way I want to go. I turned right and sped to town. A restaurant. I am pretty disgusting. You call this food? One patron yelled as he sped out of the restaurant. Okay, they said curiosity killed the cat. Well, I'm going in. Looks like a pretty decent restaurant so far. But aesthetics can only get you so far. I looked around for a plate, found one. Alright, time to see what's wrong. Well, I must say. This tastes like SHT, I yelled before storming into the kitchen. Oh my goodness, it's dirty. You. What are you doing in my kitchen? A guy with a gruff beard asked. This is your kitchen. Are you the head chef? I asked. Yes, now get out of here, then your food is complete garbage. How are you keeping afloat? I asked while grabbing a mop. I swiftly cleaned up the kitchen. Now, I said while grabbing some ingredients and a menu, I'm gonna show you how it's done. Thank you, come again. I called out another satisfied customer. And it only took over 2 hours. Well, SHT. Oh well, I think you all got the hang of it. I must take my leave. Wait, young man. The head chef said. He and his co-chefs are behind him as he handed me a packet. This is for you. For saving our restaurant and an apology. You are clearly the better chef. Yeah. I am. But now you know how to satisfy your customers. Now don't let me catch another angry customer. You hear? I asked. Yes, sir. He and the other chef said. I smiled and headed out. Well, there's my good deed of the episode. I pulled out the packet and inside was 50,000 yen. Nice, free money. All I did was teach the chefs how to cook and clean their kitchen in about 5 seconds. Well, enough dilly-dallying. Time to get on with the 𝗵𝗃 pet store/adoption center. I rushed inside to see a bunch of puppers. Look at them. Running around, rolling around, phasing through the grate, play 5 wait, phasing through the grate. Arf. A lone Doberman puppy yelped as they were hopping around wanting to play. Well, hello there, little, I said as I held them up near my face. Girl. How are you? I said while petting her. Arf arf. She barked. I want her. I want her to come with me. Everyone will love her. I picked her up and brought her to the counter. Adoption. I said. He looked at me with a raised eyebrow before looking at the puppy. Are you sure? She has a quirk that allows her to phase through walls. She said. Don't care. I want her. I said. Well, all right. I'll bring out the papers. He said. I smiled and looked at her. You're coming with me, What should be your name? I asked her as she tilted her head. Dang it, why are you so adorable? I got it. 𝗵𝗃𝗏. I exclaimed. She looked at me for a few seconds before my face. Perfect, 𝗵𝗃𝗏 it is. I filled out the forms and I bought some starter stuff with the money the head chef gave me. A collar and leash, a bowl, puppy shampoo. As she doesn't need a bed right now, she can just sleep with me. It was then that I felt light nibbling on my hand. Chew toys too. And what else? Oh right, food stupid. I pulled out my phone and researched what's healthy for Dobermans, because she's going to live as long as she can. Proteins, high in proteins, low in other additives like corn, wheat and such. This one says, high quality, it better not be lying or I'll sue. High in protein, low in grains, antioxidants, calcium, phosphorus for their joints. Seems good to me. And all it costs is 5,400 yen. Well, it's high quality, so it being expensive should be expected. It's also a massive bag, so that too. After my pet shopping spree and buying a backpack at a nearby convenience store for storage, I only have 35,400 yen to my name. But it was all worth it. I have 𝗵𝗃𝗏. Alright, this time for real. No distractions. It's barely 2:20. And I have to get to camp. Hang on, 𝗵𝗃𝗏. We're going for a ride. I said as I gently tied her safely around my chest with the leash and began running. Okay, oh, they're not here. Well, I am 2 hours late. I said as I untied 𝗵𝗃𝗏 as she hopped down to walk around. Boom, I looked towards the source of the noise. It was in the forest. That has to be my classmates, but where are they going towards? I scanned the forest, and off in the distance is a building of some kind. Well, that's as good of a hint as I could see. Ready to go, 𝗵𝗃𝗏? I asked. Arf. She said with a nod. I picked her up and jumped down into the depths of the forest. I then put her down. Stay close, all right. You can phase through walls, but I don't know if you can phase through enemies. I said. Arf. She replied. Good girl. I said as we headed inside. Just follow the destruction, and I'll catch up with the roar. A loud roar was heard. It was a giant monster. So that's what's causing the others to fight. I said as I rushed to punch the monster in the face, causing it crumble into dust of the earth or dirt. Let's keep moving, 𝗵𝗃𝗏. I said as I saw her shaking in fear, but she shook it off and followed close behind me. Good girl. I'll keep you safe. More dirt enemies showed up, and I smashed every one of them, and after taking down like 20 I decided to say screw it, pick up 𝗵𝗃𝗃, and sprint the rest of the way. I made it to the building I saw earlier and set down 𝗵𝗃𝗃. I'm here. I said as I saw Mr. 𝗳𝗃𝗧𝗏 with two women dressed in cat costumes. Any reason there are women dressed up in cat uniforms? And should I be concerned? I asked. No, these are the why. What is that doing here? Mr. 𝗳𝗃𝗧𝗏 asked pointing at 𝗵𝗃𝗃. Hey, she is my puppy. I got sidetracked on my way here. She's my puppy, and I won't take any backsass towards her. I said, besides, she's special. She has a quirk. I said. She has a what? Mr. 𝗳𝗃𝗧𝗏 asked. A quirk. She can phase through walls. I'd say she's useful. So I adopted her. Anyway, where are the others? I asked looking around. They are still in the forest dealing with my pets. But you have gotten through rather quick. She said as her lips, I call 𝗳𝗏𝗵𝗃𝗏, she muttered before clutching her stomach. I have my eyes on someone right now. Besides, you're like 30, and I'm 15 moving on 16, there's a problem here. A massive problem. I said before walking towards the building. So where's the kitchen? 𝗬𝗏𝗵𝗃𝗏, I kept a hand over my mouth to make sure the contents of my stomach stayed in my stomach. We've been fighting for 4 to 5 hours. Anyway, we're all tired, and to make matters worse, we have no idea where 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗏 was. He would have helped with that immensely. We made it to the campsite at least. It'll only take 3 hours, yeah right. 𝗬𝗏𝗃𝗏 complained. I'm so hungry I'm gonna die. Kirishima exclaimed, yeah, same here. Sorry, that's how long we would have made it. Pixie Bob said. Flaunting the power gap in our faces. Sata muttered. Mew, we actually thought it would take longer, but one of your own has came here already. A few hours ago at that. Pixie Bob said. Wait, one of our 𝗳𝗏𝗃𝗏, get back here 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗏. A loud familiar voice yelled as a dog phased through the wall of the building. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗏 shoved through the door and picked up the puppy. Geez, you're a handful. I like the 𝗳𝗏𝗵𝗃𝗏𝗏. Ida asked. This is awkward. He muttered. Where have you been? Everyone including me asked. Pet store/adoption center. He asked as the puppy waved at us with their paw, meet 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗏. He said while letting the puppy walk towards us. Cute. I exclaimed while picking up the puppy and nuzzling their little puppy face. They responded with my face. She's really affectionate. As for you all, dinner is ready. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗏𝗏 said as he headed back inside. The puppy hopped out of my arms and followed him inside the building. Alright, go get your luggage from the bus. Drop your things off in your rooms, then come to dinner in the mess hall. After that you bathe. Then it's bedtime. The real training starts tomorrow. Mr. 𝗳𝗃𝗧𝗏 said, now get moving. Yes sir. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗏, this is delicious. Kirishima yelled as I placed more food on the counter to the right of their table. Thank you, that will be 5,000 yen please. I quipped, but Yaoyorozu handed me the money. Yaoyorozu, I was joking. I said, pushing it back. Oh, my mistake. She said as she put the money back. I rolled my eyes before heading back into the kitchen, then 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗏𝗃 phased through the door again. Why do you know what, fine, we'll hang out here. I said as she barked happily while teething on her chew toy. We're here. A voice from the door exclaimed. Hello. I greeted as 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗏𝗃 jumped up from the sudden appearance of other people and walked towards them. Shishida, she's looking at you. Your kin. Tokage said. His kin's name is 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗏. I said as she trotted towards me. Why 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗏? Kendo asked. Because he can phase through walls like a ghost. 𝗳𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗵𝗃. I said. What? They all exclaimed. I know it's cool, right? I said as I pet her head. Anyway, dinner's on. The pussycats gave me full access to their kitchen, and Mr. Aizawa gave me funding to get ingredients, so that means I have full control as to what we're having. I said. Which means at long last I can finally cook that Mexican buffet I've been procrastinating on due to exams and stuff like that. Welp, gotta get back to cooking, see y'all later. 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏, it takes, POV, so what's the plan? 𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏 asked me. I don't know. He seems busy tonight. I said. He'll be busy every night. But I agree with you with the tonight part. He did have to run here and cook for us. So tonight is a no-go. She sacked. Alright. I stuttered, man, why is confessing so nerve-wracking? Why does nervousness have to be an emotion? Sure, it helps with your fight or flight situation, but still. And why does his food have to taste so good? This is going to be harder than I thought. After eating, 1A and us went to the bath to, well, take a bath. It was nice and warm and plus ultra. Oh no, you don't. A familiar voice yelled as the sounds of a struggle, and a slam was heard on the other side of the wall. Knock knock, sorry about that, my 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏 decided to get gutsy with his perviness. We'll make sure he take a cold shower later. That voice was 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏𝗧. Thanks, dude. We owe you one. She said. Well, in that case, can I borrow 5,000 yen? He said as 𝗳𝗍𝗧𝗟𝗘 got out of the bath. Joking again, 𝗳𝗍𝗧𝗟𝗘? He said. Well, make it sound like you're joking. She countered with a pout. Well, I was joking the first time, so you shall, oh, don't even think about trying again, my 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏𝗧. 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏 yelled as the sounds of his sprinting footsteps were getting quieter and farther away. Yup, he's a keeper, 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗧𝗏𝗃 teased. Hush. I said while turning my burning face away. I already knew that.